Walton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level.
Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports. It's time. It is that time. Time for Stiles and Watkins.
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140. Find us on YouTube at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's time for Alan Stiles and Chris Watkins.
Yes. On a Tuesday, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. We have Nate Littlefield behind the glass for us today. And Chris,
what's up?
From the long weekend, we will get into the Allen stuff, right? We will get into all the Allen stuff eventually. My time at the Sac Republic match as the fill-in MC. Also, my time at the county fair. And you have a note in here.
Yes.
Chris tries to be like Allen.
Yes.
And I don't know what that is.
I can't wait to tell you.
Okay, so we will break all of that down. We will remember Bill Walton. We will continue to talk about these Mike Brown extension talks and how they have broken down and really just give you a play-by-play on what has happened. We're asking the question, are you interested in Andrew Wiggins? Because out there in Warriorland, for some reason, they believe that Andrew Wiggins, Chris, his value, is this delusional or not, right? I'm seeing that Warriors fans believe that Andrew Wiggins' value is going up the better the Mavs do because of the defense that Andrew Wiggins played on Luka in 2022. And no, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding either. I'm not kidding.
Oh, my God.
So we will break down.
No, that's not delusional at all. Of course not.
Oh, of course not. So
I remember that defense.
We will break down whether or not you want one Andrew Wiggins. And, of course, at 12 o'clock, we continue our mock drafts. Chris, who is it from today?
Today, we actually don't have one. I let you know over the weekend that I have a new number one on top of my draft board. And we're going to be discussing my new number one. And it's a name that we've heard before, but
so as soon as I say, hey, Chris, I'm in on Cody Williams.
Actually yes.
You're saying now,
yes.
I'm not in on Cody Williams anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I think it took you jumping on board for me to realize, I don't know if I'm actually all in on it. No, actually, it had nothing to do with that. It was actually just a total coincidence. I told you that, over Memorial Day weekend, I was going to start to hop into some of the draft prospects and, definitely found somebody that I think just makes a lot of sense for the Kings.
Okay. Well, we will break all of that down at 12. And we have some information on your Sacramento A's and how that is continuing to move forward in Vegas. That's a little bit later in the show. The last hour, we get into some baseball and some football as well. Brandon Ayuk, is he tripping or is he worth the money? But Chris, as the Pacers now, their season is done. And the way I see this is if sometimes when you overachieve, it can be a little bit confusing as to how to move forward. Are the Pacers really an Eastern Conference Finals team? They played a Bucks team that was missing a bunch of people. They played a Knicks team that eventually they were already missing players, and they missed even more players. Right. And now their season has come to a close as they lose to the Celtics. And they had a chance in game one. They had a couple opportunities, but moving forward, obviously, you need to re-sign Siakam, but I don't know where to put the Pacers going into next season.
Yeah, no, I don't know either. I'm like you said, like I don't think that they don't feel like your typical conference finalists. Like they feel like, to me, they're more so in the category of Dallas a couple of years ago when they had Brunson and he made that run. The Atlanta Hawks kind of made a similar run, I think, post bubble. And there's other teams in the past that have done similar things where it just feels like, okay, yeah, you made the conference finals. The Blazers have done it before when they had Dame and CJ. Where, yeah, you make the conference finals, but does that really mean that your team is right there in terms of we just need to make one move and that puts us over the hump or whatever it is? I don't think so. Like, they do have a lot of pieces where you could see how if they just say, okay, Siakam and Halliburton is our core, one of Nesmith, Nembhard, and Ben Mathurin is going to be there. Maybe if we ship off the rest and just trade it for different pieces, like maybe there's something more there where they can get more length. And, I think that's the biggest thing that they learned is you need forwards, and Obi Toppin and Andrew Nembhard are not going to be good enough Nesmith. Those guys aren't going to be good enough to deal with the Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combo. And, they're going to have to find some three to try and solve that. I think they're a really good team, but you just laid it out. Like, I think a lot of the teams in the East are well prepared to deal with the Pacers moving forward. I think they're a good team. They're just not an Eastern Conference Finals team, I don't believe, right now. I think this is a situation where they kind of have put themselves ahead of the timeline versus where they actually are. And we see that sometimes this really messes up teams is they'll have this warped perception of where they're actually at, and they'll make a win now move when in reality they should make a move that'll win them in 3 to 4 years.
Well, and even Andrew Nembhard, the whole situation with him and TJ McConnell and obviously Tyrese Halliburton, they have some decisions to make. And if anything, I guess you could say, those guys are building value if they did decide to move on from them. But yeah, the Pacers, I don't know where to put them. It was a great season for them, and I'm sure their fans had a heck of a time, but I'm not putting them over the Bucks moving forward. No. I'm not putting them over the Celtics. I don't know if I'm putting them over the Knicks. Yeah. Right.
Or the Sixers. Who knows?
Or the Sixers
like moving forward. Yeah.
Right. So at least they had a good year, and they have some momentum moving forward. They have some decisions to make. Also, the Timberwolves have a decision to make whether or not they're going to show up at any point in the series as we get into some of that as well. Kendrick Perkins will play some sound, regrets his decision on who he chose for Defensive Player of the Year. And I guess this whole thing now, Chris, is what does Defensive Player of the Year even mean? Right. Do people even want the award anymore? Is it tainted now?
Second place is always the best place.
Second place, because he's getting put in the blender. And just when people said that Rudy Gobert has been better on the perimeter, well, not against these guys, right? So now you're benching him essentially, and you're playing slow-mo Kyle Anderson. You're playing Naz Reid. It's funny that the same thing that we were worried about for the Timberwolves didn't rear its ugly head until now. Yeah. They went through the whole season, and everybody said they figured it out. Yeah. And then you get up against one of the hottest teams. And we saw firsthand how hot the Mavs were because we were pocket watching every single day.
Games, man. I keep thinking about those 2 games against Sac, and I cannot get them out of my head. Just I don't know. I mean, it would be interesting to ask somebody who's more boots on the ground in Dallas, but I swear those 2 games that they had here in Sacramento were a launching pad for what we're seeing right now in Dallas. Those 2 games, to me, that was the first time in my eyes I was like, whoa, not only is Dallas better than the Kings, but they're on a different level. Yeah. It felt like there was nothing. I know Malik got hurt in the second game, but it didn't feel like the Kings really – and I know the first game went down to the Exum game winner and all that, and the Kings had a chance, but it just felt like Dallas had other levels to go to. You saw – that's really the difference is Exum hits those shots, and you see Derrick Jones Jr. has hit shots in the playoffs. PJ Washington has hit shots in the playoffs. That's the things the Kings didn't have all season long is guys who made timely shots or just shots in general, really. But yeah, I mean, I continue to think of that 2-game stretch here in Sacramento, and it really felt like from there, Dallas did not look back, and they've been on a roll since. And I mean, they just look like world beaters, man. I don't think it's going to be an easy series against Boston, but I can realistically see them even upsetting Boston, even with Porzingis back.
You need bucket getters once you get to the playoffs, right?
That's a big thing.
And the Mavs have 2 of them, okay? And that is what worries me sometimes because you can like the flow offense and you can like you can like what the Kings do, but know that you need to be able to go to another level. Chris, honestly, it reminds me, and I know the Kings aren't really running the same exact offense as the Warriors, but it kind of reminds me of the pre-Kevin Durant Warriors because we were saying this a lot in the Bay. You run that offense. It's great during the regular season.
Yeah.
It's great when things are loose. But then when you get to money time,
right, things get tight.
Things get tight.
Yeah.
You're not able to run that offense, or it's ending up. It's purposely ending up in the hands of your lesser guys, and you're asking them to make shots in big moments.
Right.
At that time, Steph just wasn't. Even though he was an MVP, he wasn't at that level yet. Now you have in the Mavs 2 dudes that can just get a bucket whenever they want to and need to. And if you look at the Kings, sure, I don't mind putting De'Aaron Fox in that category, but I wouldn't put him on the same level as those guys right now.
No.
So you have situations that set you up for the regular season and then the postseason.
Yep.
And what we're seeing with the Timberwolves is that they have their bucket getter in Anthony Edwards, but it's just not enough.
No, yeah.
You don't have enough other guys.
No, that's a fantastic point, because that's the one thing in the playoffs, even just in the first round series that the Kings played against the Warriors, that really stuck out to me. And that's why I think the Kings at the end of the day need somebody who can create their own shot.
Yeah.
Yes, it's great.
I guess you could put Malik. You could put Malik in that category.
But to your other point as well, like, he's not in the category of Luke. So those are the Kings' 2 guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're not to the level that is necessary to reach the level that Dallas is at. So you need more. You need more of those guys to try and supplement that. And it's not easy to find. I mean, you look at that Kings Warriors series, the 2 best players were Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And that's not a coincidence. There were points in that series where exactly what you just laid out with the Warriors happened with the Kings, where offense is getting real stagnant. Sabonis can't find anybody to get assists. No one's making their shots. Well, what do you call on at that point? You call on your bucket getters to go get buckets.
Mm-hmm.
Malik and De'Aaron can only do so much. That's why I just wholeheartedly believe this team needs another shot creator on their roster. And if they can be a forward, that'd be ideal. But they need somebody, whether it be a point guard or just anybody really, who clock's winding down. You need a big bucket. He can go get you one. And that's Malik right now. And, it's been De'Aaron in the past.
And look, if you look at the Mavs, you could say the same way we looked at them. All right, how many Derek Jones Jr. threes are we going to allow here? Or PJ Watt, something has to give, and it just hasn't yet.
Yeah.
But it's not that they have 2 elite guys, but at the same time, their secondary guys have been balling.
Yes.
And the vertical threat of Daniel Gafford and kind of turning back the clock, they just have a lot of different ways to beat you. So if it's not your bucket getters, the secondary guys are balling. If it's not the secondary guys, okay, let's get a quick 2 on a lob threat.
Right.
So it seems very surprising, similar to the Niners almost. When the Niners are rolling, it seems very surprising when they punt, right?
Yeah.
Right now with the Mavs, it seems very surprising when they don't score.
Yes.
When they don't score, I'm actually surprised. That's how they are.
This is against the best defense in the league.
That's exactly. And now you have a Celtics team, and we'll talk about them. We're not there yet.
No.
See if the Timberwolves got anything to say about it, but we're pretty darn close. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. What happened 22 years ago with the one, the only Mike Bibby, and we remember Bill Walton. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
Get a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles a man. 10-5. Touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have, because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation.
Are you crying? Are you crying because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See
after his battle with cancer. Bill Walton, who did some broadcasting for the Kings for a little bit. Bill Walton, one of the greatest college basketball players of all time, one of one when it comes to broadcasting in general, was really just a light in the basketball world and synonymous with the basketball world. And our thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Yeah, no, I mean, not even just basketball, just life in general. Bill was like the ultimate, like when people bring up the word, you know, I know kids like to use aura and vibes and all that stuff. And like, that is exactly what Bill Walton was just like ultimate vibes, ultimate aura. The dude just did not have a care in the world. You know, his broadcasting style was, you know, I think some who are super hyper professional probably didn't like it, but just was a joy to listen to. And yeah, I mean, is one of, I think, the most underrated basketball players of all time. You brought up his college stuff. He, you know, there's arguments that him and Kareem are the two best college players to ever play in the NBA. People, I feel like, forget that he won a title with the Blazers, you know, and obviously was a huge role player for those Celtics teams back in the day as well. You know, had his career damaged, I guess, by knee injuries kind of before, obviously, the miracles of modern medicine are around. If Bill Walton would have played today, he probably would have had a 15-year career or something like that. And yeah, I mean, just like one of a true treasures in life, Bill Walton was just hilarious too. The fact he'd never took himself too seriously. And yeah, we kind of got a taste of having Bill around quite a bit when Luke was the coach. Bill would kind of show up here and there. And yeah, man, just an awesome guy. And yeah, just really sad to see him go, obviously. Just hearing all the outcry. I saw Jay Billis yesterday talking on ESPN, all of his coworkers talking about him. And it's just great to hear that, you know, when you think somebody's amazing, especially in the industry, if you'll call it that, to hear from the people inside that he actually was that great is always really good to hear. And yeah, I just think a lot of people are going to miss Bill Walton, including myself.
Yeah, our goal as media, I would say, it's to be authentic, but also, you know, do what you need to do and show that you can do the job,
right,
along with being yourself.
Yes.
And that balance is pretty tough.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough. And Bill Walton, he perfected it. He perfected it. So yeah, again, thoughts and prayers go out to his family and the basketball world, and the world in general will miss his light. Chris, 22 years ago, do you remember where you were?
Dude, I remember where I was. No, not specifically today. I don't remember 22 years ago today. I remember a different day 22 years ago, like it was yesterday, but I actually was this happened 2002. I was 7 years old. So yeah, don't have all of the memories of this time, but this one has become a memory I wish I had.
It is the Mike Bibby shot
Yes.
heard round the world. It happened 22 years ago today. Game 5 to beat the Lakers. Here it is.
Differential, game number 5 coming down to the final seconds, as did game number 4. But the Lakers have a 1-point lead. Back to Bibby, has the open shot. She can't second. In the fourth quarter.
It was rocking,
Man,
in there.
dude, it hurts every time I say it, but that is the closest that this Sacramento Kings organization franchise has ever gotten to the NBA Finals. 1 game away with 2 to go. And we know what happens. I mean, game 6 is talked about not just here in Sacramento, but across the country widely. In game 7, we don't talk about game 7. That just doesn't need to be brought up. But yeah, this shot is iconic. I mean, everybody has seen the picture of Mike Bibby yelling to the air with the crowd cheering behind him. I mean, Marv Albert on the call, Weber, the pass to Bibby, just incredible. Everything about it was perfect. And Yeah, man. One game is a really, really tough thing to swallow. I don't remember where I was exactly for this game. I remember where I was for the other game-winning shot that went in during that series. But man, yeah, I mean, this time of year always brings it back. Every time you see these posts of the Kings being one game away from the NBA Finals, man, it just makes me think of how hard this thing is and just how unlikely that run must have felt at the time, how incredible. And I mean, if you ever had any doubt, or if you weren't around, or you're like me and don't have memory of what it was like during that time, I think the fact that Sacramento is as passionate as it is today, I still think that they're riding off the fumes of 22 years ago. And I really do think that's how special those teams were. That's how special this run was, that it really did invigorate a city for 20 plus years. And all they wanted to do, and all we still want to do, is just get right back there to that spot.
That's right. I do remember where I was.
Really?
Yeah, I was.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was watching it with my dad, who my dad is from Chicago. So he had this weird thing where he didn't love Kobe, I guess, because he was a Jordan guy. So he was just rooting for the Kings, and he was ironing his clothes, and we saw it go down. We thought, wow, Lakers are finally going to go down, and we know how that ended. Do you think is that number one in Sacramento Kings history? Is there anything that comes close?
You can't. Yeah. You can't. I mean, again, that's the furthest you've ever gotten. That's the closest you've ever gotten to winning a title without actually winning one. There can't. I mean, if you hit a half court shot to send you to the conference finals, like maybe that can be bigger, but biggest stage, biggest moment, series tied at 2 in the wings, and for him to hit that shot is just ultimate stones. And that's Mike Bibby, man. That is why Kings fans love him. And then, not to be forgotten, on the other end, there's a play that happens. Bibby hits that shot. There's still 4 seconds left. On the other end, go look it up. Bobby Jackson completely locks down Kobe Bryant. Kobe tries to hit him with a little turnaround. Bobby's right in his face. Perfect contest. Celebrates at half court. Throws fists in the air. It's just, if I had a time machine, that would be probably on my top 5 dates, to go back and just be in the arena and know that moment is coming, and to just see everything around it, hear the Arco crowd for one last time. I mean, man, yeah, that's crazy.
10:45. We break down the Mike Brown contract situation and how those talks have, quote unquote, broken down, according to Mark Stein. But coming up next, we ask the question, are the Wolves done? And we hear from Kendrick Perkins, who regrets his decision on Depoy. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
We are fortunate in Northern California to have weather that allows us to play golf year-round. On the other hand, that's a lot of time to be exposed to the sun's harmful rays. So just remember to apply the sunscreen. Experts say that SPF 30 blocks 97% of the UVB rays that cause sunburn, and you should apply sunscreen at least every 2 hours. So put it on before you play and reapply at the turn. Apply it evenly and thoroughly. When you use a spray, don't step into the spray because you won't be putting it on evenly. We all tend to get our arms, legs, and face, but make sure you apply to your ears, neck, hands, and scalp, and don't forget the backs of your knees. And make sure you check the expiration date. Experts also say the sunscreen that works is the sunscreen that you actually are going to put on your skin. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You've seen the specials on Amazon, Netflix, Showtime, and more. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
Babe, can I go with Steve and have a drink at the casino? And then she started to speak wife. She looked at him right in the face and she goes, you can do whatever you want. And his dumb goes, told you. I go, oh, no, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Steve Trevino. Saturday, June 1st, the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss an evening with Steve Trevino.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
You're ready for a perfect summer on the lawn. But wait, there are weeds, brown spots, and mosquitoes everywhere. It's time to call True Green. Get the best deal of the year and save over $200 when you bundle annual lawn care and mosquito plans. So all you have to do is water and mow. Hurry, offer ends May 28th. Visit TrueGreen.com for the best lawn at the best price. Guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
This is Sactown Sports.
From Michael Jordan to Michael B. Jordan. That's what the streets are saying about one Anthony Edwards. 1 second, I mean, life comes at you fast, Chris. 1 second, you are winning in Denver, taking care of the defending champs.
Yep.
And then what you did to Denver got done to you.
Mm-hmm.
You lose the first 2 at home.
Yep.
And we still had faith, okay, maybe you can win one. If you win one, you win game 3, anything can happen. We just saw it happen with Denver, and then you lose game 3, and it's over now, right? It's over.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Time to go home. Yeah, no, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
It is like 3. I mean, obviously 3-0. It'll be said a million other times. No one's ever came back from 3-0 in NBA history. I don't think this is going to be the situation where it happens, unless obviously something really, really bad happens on the Dallas side. But yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting. I wonder how much of this, and definitely is an excuse, but fatigue, like they just went 7 in Denver. We don't forget how extra taxing in Denver
That's
is.
right.
And then, to play Dallas, I mean, the argument on the other side is Dallas just went 6 with OKC, the number 1 seed. It's not like they had, a Celtics-like ride over here. So, it definitely cuts both ways. But, I can't help but think this is Anthony Edwards' first time making it this far in the playoffs. He's had to carry more of a load than he's ever had to carry before. He looked exhausted in the first couple games of this series, and I mean, to cap it all off, they have nobody who can guard Luka. It's something we talked about earlier. Jaden McDaniels, too slight. Anthony Edwards, you don't want him guarding Luka for 48 minutes. So in a weird way, yeah, they got the back end covered. Gobert, Naz Reid, Cat, all of them, you're good at the rim, but the perimeter defense, the shot makers, they can't slow them down.
They can't stop them. And then what happens is because you can't stop them, you're asking for help from your interior.
Right.
And now Daniel Gafford is balling out.
Exactly.
And Derek Lively's balling out. So it's a bad spot for the Timberwolves. And this is exactly what Mark Cuban and the Mavs thought that they were going to get when you pair up two of the most unstoppable players in the league, when you pair them up together. And that's what they look like right now. And Chris, to kind of bring it back to the Kings and what they're trying to build over there or over here, the way that the Mavericks have this set up, I think when we look at, okay, we're going to build this team like that. We're going to follow this model. This is not a model that I think many people can follow because there's only one Luka and there's only one Kyrie.
That's for
and
sure.
I have a lot of fun hating on Kyrie. I'm not having fun anymore because Kyrie is cooking.
Yes.
And they look unstoppable. So when you look at the different models, I think the Kings need to stick to the Denver model because the Minnesota. Last week, we're talking about, is there a new model with the Minnesota model?
Right.
Well, the Minnesota model just lost to the Luka model.
Right.
And the Luka model is not something a lot of people can. How would you even look to copy that model?
You can't. No, you can't. No, you said it. You can't. I mean, because that's where Jimmy's and Joe's take over X's and O's, and there's nothing you could do about a dude who can. I mean, we saw the step back on Gobert, a dude who has that in his bag, but is also as big as he is, so can take you to the post. But the important thing is the ability to find his teammates. Like when you do blitz him, he's going to swing it, and then they're going to swing it and find PJ or Derek Jones Jr. wide open in the corner. It's why both of those dudes went crazy in that Oklahoma City series. So it's like he's a smaller version of Jokic. Like you can't. He's not much smaller, but he's a smaller version of Jokic, and those guys are not easy to find. I think the hope from the Kings side is that, I mean, and this is where you can get into a really deep argument of how much is a ceiling or a limit, like how much is somebody just who they are, and you can't build those intangibles. But from the Kings side, you hope that Domantas Sabonis is has a piece of that somewhere in him. I haven't seen it. I think it's really the difference of Sabonis looks incredible. He looks like a version of Jokic in a structured system, but the unstructured stuff is the thing that you can't teach that. There's nothing you can scheme. It's the ability of when you get doubled to field a double and just know where it's coming from to kick it out. I think Sabonis has a piece of that, but there's just a special ability for guys like LeBron, Luka, Jokic, Magic Johnson. There's been only a couple people in NBA history who have this really rare skill. And I just don't think if you have it on top of a scoring ability, I just don't know what you can do. And it's just kind of one of those things you gotta pick your poison. You're either going to let Luka drop 40 on you, or he's going to have 28, 10 and 10. And you just got to live with it. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm looking here just at Sabonis and where the Kings can improve. This is a huge, huge season coming up for the whole team.
Yeah.
But I would say De'Aaron Fox as well.
Sure.
Who are you going to be in this league? And I think it's a conversation that we will continue to have. Let's hear from Kendrick Perkins and him saying he regrets picking Rudy Gobert as the depoy.
Say this. I have the biggest regret in my media career, and Molly, I'm retiring. Shannon, from voting for individual awards, regular season awards, because I have done a disservice using my voting rights. Me voting this season for Rudy Gobert, okay, is an embarrassment for me for Defensive Player of the Year. He's the first player that we see every single time in the postseason that becomes a defensive liability. Don't come give me these analytics. Don't come giving me these plus-minus stats because that's the most overrated stat in the NBA. When I look at Rudy, he has tarnished the Defensive Player of the Year award. He has. He's not respected by his peers. We saw what happened to him in the Denver series. He couldn't even guard the person at his position. Karl Anthony Towns did a better job at that. What is he doing right now? When you look at this series right now, do you understand, do we realize that Rudy has 3 blocks in 3 games? He's averaging 1 block per game at 7-3. Unacceptable.
I mean, honestly, it's a regular season award.
Yeah, and I mean, this is kind of where, especially in sports debate, like, it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Like, it doesn't have to be either Rudy Gobert's Defensive Player of the Year or he's a freaking bum.
Tarnished is crazy.
He's won 4 times. He's won 4 times.
It's a regular season award.
Yeah, I mean, and they had the best defense in the NBA, and he was the anchor of it. I just because he can't switch on, so what? Like, by this logic, Jaden McDaniels needs to be Defensive Player of the Year every year because he can guard the perimeter, but then he can't guard a guy like Luka. So, just because you're Defensive Player of the Year does not mean you are a perfect defender. It does not mean that at all. It just means you were the best individual defender in the NBA, and everybody's going to have some blind spots, and the 7'3" guys or whatever, however tall he is, his blind spot is getting switched on the perimeter. Maybe it should be a coach's responsibility, I don't know, to make sure that he doesn't get ISO'd at the top of the key. Like, maybe that's when you should send a blitz. Maybe that's like, you should just not switch. I don't know. I don't see how that's necessarily Rudy Gobert's fault. Like, he got cooked on one possession. I saw a clip of Rudy Gobert shutting down Luka when he was on Utah. Like, I think that it's overreacting to one really bad play, which, by the way, we've seen Rudy Gobert get ISO'd and absolutely cooked on the perimeter before.
And we've seen Luka cook everybody. We've seen Luka cook everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. You're telling me Wemby just couldn't, there's just no way Wemby would have gotten crossed up in that situation? Is that what Perk's insinuating? Like, how about just giving Luka Doncic, maybe the best offensive player in the NBA right now, how about just giving him credit for creating the opportunity?
You can't say, and we heard Paul Pierce last week and somebody else this week calling Kyrie and Luka the best duo, ever, whatever it is. Yeah. So if that's the case, or even if you have them top 5 or wherever you have them, if that's the case, then you don't have to then say that Rudy Gobert is tarnishing the award.
Yeah.
It's not as if, I guess there was one clip of somebody from the Mavs bench cooking Rudy.
Yeah.
And Luka saying, go to work. So that's a bad look, but specifically the Luka thing, I'm just not having that conversation because Luka is just a different beast.
No, and I'll give Perk credit. Like, he is right about the last series. Like, it's a bit concerning that, Rudy Gobert didn't do well on Nikola Jokic because Defensive Player of the Year versus the MVP who is a center. Like, that's kind of the only matchup that you would want to have. And the fact he couldn't guard it wasn't great, but again, like you said, it's a regular season award. It doesn't have to do with the postseason. And if anything, Kendrick Perkins, you're kind of telling on yourself. You're saying you didn't do the proper research or didn't watch the games enough to get. I don't really know what Kendrick wants us to do with that. So, I mean, Rudy Gobert, good defender, great defender. Yeah. Should he necessarily be on the list of 4-time all defensive players? Maybe not. Maybe his blocks are viewed, when we talked about it last week, maybe his blocks are a little bit overvalued, but at the same time, like, I don't have a problem with it. Rudy is one of the best 5 defensive players in the league, and he's going to be in the conversation next year too. So I don't really know what Kendrick wants us to do with that information.
All right. Coming up next, it's time. We're opening up the phone lines for this Mike Brown conversation on the Extension Talks, 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, text line, SAC chat, let's hear from you as we break everything down. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Stirring fiber, exercising, frequent trips to the store for more laxatives and fiber. Sounds like your constipation with belly pain is a lot to manage. But if your symptoms that keep coming back are signs of irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, ask your doctor how Linzess can help you get ahead of it. Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Welcome back to Verizon Radio. Our next track will get you amped for our biggest deals of the season. It's called Red Hot Deal Days.
Choose your bundle for Red Hot Deal Days. Get a new phone, watch and tablet. Scream yippee-yi-yay, because you can trade in your old phone for a bundle today.
Now that's a hot track for Red Hot Deal Days. Choose a new phone, smartwatch, and tablet along with tons more great deals. It's only until May 29th. Visit your Verizon store today. Eligible phone with select trade and an unlimited ultimate plan required and service plan required for watch or tablet. See Verizon.com for additional details.
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Let's break down this Mike Brown situation. All right, Chris, as I am seeing this whole thing unfold, you had step one. We were having this conversation already, right?
Yeah.
Step one, or the first thing that happens, is James Ham puts out a piece, and basically it is saying,
well, we even heard this before that. Remember
right,
the Sam Amick and Anthony Slater article? I think it was immediately after the Kings season was over, saying, not necessarily. I guess it wasn't as much reporting, but it was just, hey, Mike Brown still doesn't have an extension, and that's a bit strange. That kind of put it on the radar initially.
Right. So that puts it on the radar. Then James Ham writes something, and some account, Basketball on X, takes an excerpt from James Ham's article and makes it seem like the Kings aren't happy with Mike Brown. James Ham comes out and says, that's not how I was trying to write it. Nobody would be happy if they missed the playoffs. You had Carmichael Dave last week say that he believes that this extension is going to happen, and even gave some estimates on figures. And then what was it, Chris? Was it over the weekend with Woj? Is that when the Woj one happened, or was that Friday?
We'll just
one
say
of those
over the
days.
weekend,
So then the next step is Woj hops in and basically says what that basketball account was saying about the initial piece from James, that there is some smoke to this as far as the Kings wanting, or not sure that they, I guess, want to pay Mike Brown that much because he hasn't performed at a level they think is good enough for that payday. And then last but not least, a very similar report from Mark Stein, who goes on to say, and here it is, extension talks for Sacramento's Mike Brown, however, have broken down as Brown enters the final guaranteed season of his original 4-year deal. The sides hold what has been described as a mutual option for 2025-26, yet it appears that the combination of Brown's desire for a significant salary bump and the Kings' postseason disappointments of the past 2 springs has given his bosses pause.
Yes.
And that is where we currently are, unless something happened within the last 40 minutes.
Not to my knowledge, thankfully. But yeah, I did want to confirm for you, the Woj article came out on Friday. And the thing that was really concerning on Friday, which feels like forever ago at this point, was the word, or the term, Coach Kings and Coach Mike Brown remain, quote, with a gulf on a potential deal, and have tabled talk. So essentially that there is a very wide gap in the conversation between the two when it comes to his contract. Alan, all I had to say immediately when I saw that news, and I mean instantly, I have Woj notifications on my phone, I have Shams notifications on my phone, so I saw it immediately when it dropped, and all I had to say was, it does not have to be like this. There is infinite amount of ways to avoid this kind of situation when a coach is the most successful coach that this franchise has had in 20 plus years. He immediately brings winning to this franchise that had not had a winning record in 20 plus years. And we have to think about it. We have to think about, do we want to re-up on this? I'm not even saying Mike Brown has to be the coach of the, don't have to give him a lifetime contract. Just give him 2 to 3 to 4 years max, and then figure it out. Because you know what? He's held up his end of the bargain so far. He's done exactly, besides missed the playoffs this year, but 46 wins is good enough to make the playoffs in just about any other year. He's done everything that could have been asked of him besides make the playoffs this year. I don't really know why we're balking at this. I don't get it. I don't understand. And again, there's not some young coach out there that has everyone's eye that the Kings feel like they can go get. This is just a matter of they feel like, I don't know. I kind of want to be smart about this. Are we sure we want to throw Mike Brown that kind of money? Are we sure we want to commit to him? Yes, you do.
You know what I'm thinking now, Chris? If, assuming all this stuff that's coming out is true, it makes that golfing picture feel a little different. It was probably pretty awkward. It was probably pretty awkward, unless they're just going through the necessary channels. I don't know, but if that was underlying, or if this has been underlying this whole time, you can be cordial, but it's awkward.
Yeah,
it's awkward.
Oh,
and to me,
they know it's there.
They know it's there.
Everyone knows when their contracts.
It just reeks of new money, right? It just reeks of new money as far as, oh, we think we can do better than Mike Brown. Well, the last 16 years says you cannot, right? So who are you to now say that the guy who has raised the worth of your franchise or helped by $1 billion, the guy who has a relationship with the number one free agent you are trying to retain in Malik Monk, who are you to say that we can do better at this exact point in time? It's completely unnecessary. I hope it doesn't bite them in the butt, but I don't see how it doesn't. We talked last week about Malik Monk and how this will affect, or this could affect how he moves forward, because if he doesn't know who's going to be the coach or what's going to happen, and he's looking for a 4-year deal, it's just, you put yourself in situations, and this happens in a lot of areas in life. There's just issues that you don't have to deal with. There are very avoidable situations. This is an incredibly avoidable situation. There's not even a good second option. Oh, so you're either penny pinching and you don't want to pay him, right? Or pay him the same amount.
The going rate for coaches these days.
The going rate, or you think that there is another guy out there, but you're not really sure who. And now that you finally have some momentum, you're going to restart, possibly lose Malik Monk, and restart with whoever. I guess they're assuming they're going to make a big move. And if Harrison Barnes or Kevin Huerter isn't there, this new coach would start there. In the midst of one of the hardest Western conferences you've ever been a part of, you finally have some stability. You're watching guys like Michael Malone hoist up the Larry O'Brien. You're seeing all this happen, and you're going to try to pinch pennies? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I mean, and you just brought up Michael Malone too, and it reminds me that the last 2 times that the Kings have had any sort of success at head coach, they just let them go the next season, or didn't even let them get to the end of the season. Dave Yeager had this team at 39 wins. I know there's a bunch of behind the scenes stuff that kind of went wrong there. More so Dave's coaching style wasn't meshing, but who did they bring in after Dave Yeager? Luke Walton. Absolutely complete miscalculation there. And then the other one is Mike Malone. He had this team going on the right direction. Everybody knows the story. DeMarcus gets sick. They use that as an excuse to fire Malone and go get their guy eventually in George Karl. Didn't work out. And so this, to me, would be making the same exact mistake as you have Mike Brown finally building something here in Sacramento, except this time he actually has results, not just, hope, not just 39 wins, not just the team hasn't played this well in X amount of years. You have playoffs. You have 46 wins. You have winning records. And I feel like we're going to make this. I don't feel as if it's going to end this way, but it feels like we're possibly trending towards a direction where they're going to make the same mistake of, oh, no, again, using Steve Kerr as the example of Mark Jackson to Steve Kerr brought that team over the hump, and we're going to look to do a
saying
similar
that
thing.
on the Sac Chat
That's
right now.
not this at all. Or even if it is that, and again, I'm not saying you have to lock down Mike Brown for the rest of his life, but it's just not the time right now. This team still has some room to grow internally with this current group. And then maybe there's another leap. And even then, I'm not saying it has to be Mike Brown leaving that makes that leap happen. It's been said countless times, but what about the players that were out there? Mike Brown was searching on his bench all year long. Is it his fault that he couldn't trust Chris Duarte to give good minutes? Is it his fault that Sasha Vezenkov wasn't the guy that he wanted in terms of a player profile, the kind of guy that he wants to play? No, he wants to play Juan Toscano Anderson. I just don't really see how you would have to be doing a lot of dancing to figure out how to pin this enough on Mike Brown to fire or to not renew his contract, to let him possibly walk and go to a situation where, again, Mike Malone's hoisting trophies over there. I'm not saying Mike Brown's going to do that if he leaves, but he's not going to go to a bad situation if he leaves. I'll tell you that.
Mark Jackson coached the Warriors from 2011 to 2014. So this wouldn't even be
wasn't a coach before him.
Exactly.
It's a completely different situation.
Exactly. This wouldn't even be that same amount of time. I guess if you let him coach this as a tryout season, which, like you said, is kind of a slap in the face, and people just don't typically do that. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Has Mike Brown been good enough? 916-339-1140. Has he been good enough, or do you want to upgrade as well? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmerly. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
It's Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light. Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuit seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-439-4252. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-439-4252. That's 800-439-4252. Again, 800-439-4252.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
The Summer Starts Here sales event is on now through Memorial Day at your Toyota dealer. Take advantage of great deals on Toyota's entire lineup of cars, trucks, and SUVs. Right now, drive into the season of fun in a new Toyota and get low 3.99% APR financing on Highlander. Or check out great lease deals on Camry, Corolla, and RAV4. Hurry, Toyota's Summer Starts Here sales event ends soon. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available on 2024 models through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit. Excludes hybrids. N6324.
Contact tax relief helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this, because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call tax relief helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax relief helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes, and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
increase leads, and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing strategies that deliver results. On your next campaign, aim higher. Go to aimyourdigital.com and get started today. aimyourdigital.com.
KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Next at 916-339-1140.
No, Chris, when people say, oh, this is a good learning experience for a team, right? I don't really know what to do with that. I'm thinking about the Wolves, the T-Wolves, and everybody is now saying, because everyone loves Anthony Edwards, right? And they're now saying this is a great learning experience for Anthony Edwards. Hey, Luka's been through it already. Kyrie's been through it already. I've even seen some clips of Larry Bird making a shot over Michael Jordan, people comparing that to Luka and this whole situation that's going on with Anthony Edwards. But when it comes to, oh, this is good experience, how much does that actually matter? Because I'm taking it back to the Kings as we get into this Mike Brown discussion, and the Kings go 7 with, at the time, the defending champs, right? The Warriors, and they eventually lose. And we said the same thing. Oh, that's a good experience. The next season they come back, right? And obviously you have the Malik Monk injury, Kevin Huerter injury, and they missed the playoffs. What do we do with that experience from a couple years ago? Does it carry over?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't make the playoffs this year.
They didn't make the playoffs. Use the experience.
Yeah, I mean, they still learned it though.
Yeah.
I mean, the hope is that they still learned it, is that they, Anthony Edwards, he's hopefully now going to understand that, it takes another level of conditioning in order to get done what he wants to get done, because if he's tired in this round, well, there's still a whole nother round you got to get to. And he's also learned that, being down or up 2-0 in a series doesn't mean anything, because he saw that it evaporated. So, I mean, I think all of those lessons are really valuable. I think it's more about the emotions of the game, and there's some physical stuff that you can learn for sure. The physicality, I think, is something the Kings definitely learned from the playoffs and brought that this season during the regular season. So there's things, but it doesn't necessarily mean, oh, you learned how to be a playoff team, you will forever be a playoff team. It just means, as everything in life, you hopefully only make a mistake once, and then you hopefully get better, so the next time you're in that position, you don't make the same mistake.
Let's hear from David, who wants to be a part of the conversation as far as Mike Brown. Are you happy with Mike Brown, or do you think the Kings need an upgrade? What's up, David? What you got for us?
Hey guys, yeah, I'm happy with Mike Brown. What I'm not happy with is the immaturity in the office to make, because like a basketball team is basically a family for a short amount of time, and a long amount of time if you stick together. But stability is the main thing. And now that they finally have stability, they're trying to rock the boat again, which is very frustrating, because that's not how you build a successful organization. If they keep doing this, we can fall back to the bottom of the West real quick.
Yeah. Thanks for the call, David. Great stuff. I mean, if you're a future coach, and we do this with players, right? How you treat your players, other players are watching. If you're a future coach and you see weight, and I know Mike Brown is well respected all around the NBA world. If you're a future coach and you see an owner and a ownership group handling Mike Brown like this after the Kings have missed the playoffs for over a decade, and then you look at, so they make the playoffs when Mike Brown shows up, and then the next season they lose their 6th man of the year candidate and a starter with about 15 games left in the midst of the toughest Western Conference. They win a play-in game against a team that beat them and is also their biggest rivals currently, and they don't want to pay Mike Brown. Well,
what am I going to do?
If
I go there?
Exactly.
Am I supposed to win a title?
Yeah. What is the line here? And again, it's this new money, and somebody on the text line saying straight ego tripping. I mean, who do you think you are?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what that is how the basketball world is looking at the Kings right now.
Yes.
As this whole thing comes out about Mike Brown. who do you think you are? Respectfully,
yes,
of course, we are the flagship.
Sure.
But who do you think you are?
No, absolutely. I mean, you're not in a position to beggars can't be choosers. Like, yeah, Mike Brown's the one who brought you there. I think you have to do him the service of re and up. Like, I can't fathom it, man. I doesn't make sense to me. And my question is also, okay, let's say, I mean, it won't be next season. So after this season, let's say same thing happens. Kings will say they make the 7 seed, lose in the play-in. What's the goal for next? Is the next coach just supposed to come in and then year one take off? Like, there's going to be you reset the clock almost. Like it goes to, okay, now you need to give that coach some time to implement whatever offense or defense. And that's going to take a couple months. And then, maybe this player they fit really well with Mike Brown. Oh, he's not fitting so well with this new coach. All of that is a whole new process.
Right.
So if you're the Kings and you're actually talking about how do we maximize this window right now, I don't understand how you could possibly say, especially without an obvious name in mind, what's the plan? What is the plan? If you're afraid that Mike Brown isn't going to be successful next season and that's why you're not re-upping, then what's your plan for the next coach? Because if the next coach is going to say, if you're going to say, well, we're going to give him more talent, I don't understand why that wouldn't be the solution with Mike Brown too. So I don't really know what the level of expectation would be for this new coach, especially if you're trying to win right here, right now.
From the text line, from the 209, Mike Brown had a triple-double machine in Sabonis and a scoring machine in De'Aaron Fox and missed the playoffs. He is not as good of a coach as everybody thinks that.
Well, maybe he put those two in those situations to be that.
Again, if we sat here at the beginning of the season and said the hope is to get to the second round of the playoffs, not even to win,
right?
Just to get to the second round, and everybody wants the growth to be linear, right? But how long was Michael Malone with the Nuggets? Was it 9 years?
I think they said 6 before he even made the playoffs.
Before he even made the playoffs, right? Yeah. So again, you lost Malik Monk, you lost Kevin Huerter. Kevin Huerter wasn't even playing that well before he got injured. Okay, you have Keegan Murray going through his growing pains. Mm-hmm. You have De'Aaron Fox in a way who's going through his growing pains. What did you expect from this season?
Mm-hmm.
Because again, if we're sitting here talking about, well, we wanted them to lose later. Not a championship, right, but we wanted them to lose later.
A week and a half later.
The question is, this is to the 209 to anybody. The question is, do you feel like they're underperforming? Do you feel like the Kings are underperforming? I cannot say that, okay? When you everybody here, okay, fine. They got De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis. But how many shows do we have to do? Some of them we can't even read the text, or we have to screen the calls because people want Harrison Barnes out of there.
Yeah.
Okay? Mike Brown did not put this team together.
Yeah.
You want Harrison Barnes out of there. Okay? You want Kevin Huerter out of there. All right? Sasha Vezenkov isn't what you thought he was. He can't stay healthy either. All right? Mike Brown didn't make these moves. He didn't make these moves.
Shots either.
I don't know if there is a coach out there that would, again, are we saying there's a coach out there available? So don't tell me Spoelstra. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me Michael Malone. You already moved off of him. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me guys that are already coaching.
Yes.
Okay? Give me a guy who's out there that you feel, just based on vibes, because you have no proof per se, right? Is it Budenholzer who's now taken?
Right.
All right. That would have what? Made sure that they lost later? This is not a championship roster.
Not right now.
It's not a championship roster. Okay? Once the Warriors moved off of Mark Jackson, they were hitting their head against the ceiling over and over and over again. The Kings, they just got to the ceiling one time.
Yeah.
And then the second time, all right, look, if you want to talk about some of the blown leads and lose some of the bad losses, fine. I get it.
Sure.
I just, at the same time, I don't know. We do not know where the coaching stops and the playing starts.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens with this whole thing.
Yep.
Is it Coach Mike Brown's fault for some of these bad losses? Is it Coach Mike Brown's fault for some of these blown leads? It's everybody's fault. Mm-hmm. All right. You got De'Aaron Fox. I don't know what to do with De'Aaron Fox. And congrats to them, by the way. They just announced they're having another kid. I don't know what to do with De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. I don't know what if you're if you're losing, okay, or you're not making it to a certain level, whose fault is it? Luka. They went through Luka with Brunson. They went through Luka with Porzingis. People don't even remember that. Now you finally have Luka with Kyrie. This stuff just takes time.
Yeah.
It just takes time. You haven't even let the guy get comfortable.
Nope. 2 years. He's been here for two seasons.
2 years.
2 seasons.
And again, if this is two seasons with a perennial team that's in the Celtics, okay, a team like that,
Sixers,
and now you're missing the playoffs.
Right.
Cool.
Yes.
But y'all dang near threw a parade for making the playoffs last season, and it was a great parade, and you deserve it.
We did.
But now Mike Brown isn't good enough.
Crazy.
It's who do you think you are?
It is absolutely crazy talk. It's insane. You know, like I think of the Browns. Like the Browns had Kevin Stefanski bring them from being a laughing stock into they're not winning. Last time I checked, the Cleveland Browns aren't making Super Bowls or aren't making conference titles or anything like that. But they recognize, okay, Kevin Stefanski, he brought us from being an absolute joke. There's jerseys of Tim Couch to Johnny Manziel of people, all the quarterbacks we ran through. They stuck with their guy. They're doing great now. The Browns had a great season. I'm just more saying these teams that are laughing stocks, to your point, these teams that are laughing stocks for years and years and years, you finally get a successful coach. Or a coach that brings you to success, whatever you want to say happens first. You just have to. If you want to be taken as a serious organization, because that's what this is. This is unserious. To your point, who do you think you are? How do you think you've deserved the right to say, this is exactly where we expect to be? You've never been here. You haven't been here in 20 years. So how about you just do the easy thing just for once? Just do the easy thing that's right in front of you. No one will criticize you. Just take Luka. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Just don't overthink it. It's right in front of your face. Just re-sign Mike Brown. It's the easiest thing to do. You don't have to overcomplicate things. You don't have to look at other examples to figure it out. This guy has brought you success. Again, not saying you have to sign him for a lifetime contract. Just sign him 2-3 years, 4-year opt-out, whatever. Just lock him up so that there is a semblance of stability here.
From Reed Rods on the Sack Chat, Mike Brown keeps putting Harrison Barnes in the starting five. Okay, so Reed.
Who?
Trey Lyles?
Trey Lyles? You want
really?
You want to start Trey?
I don't even know.
I love Trey.
And I don't even, who is Trey getting time on any of these teams that are still playing? Maybe some here or there. The idea of Trey Lyles is better than the reality of Trey Lyles right now. Okay? And look, I guarantee you that Mike Brown was hoping that Trey Lyles showed enough to take Harrison Barnes out of it, because we know Harrison Barnes is such a good guy. He would have taken it with grace. Trey didn't do enough.
Yeah.
He couldn't stay on the court, and when he stayed on the court, he just wasn't good enough.
He was inconsistent.
Okay? So who do you want to start instead of Harrison Barnes? And what would be the difference in the team? Tell me. Who do you want to start instead of Harrison?
I promise you, if Juan Toscano-Anderson was on the roster, he would have started Juan Toscano-Anderson.
And look, mate,
at least it would have been something.
At least it would have been something. All right?
Yeah. There was nobody there that he liked. I mean, and Mike Brown has been adamant. He wants defensive first players.
We're talking about peanuts here. Roy Seeley on the Sack Chat. Monk should have started over Herter.
Sure.
We're talking peanuts here.
Sure.
Now your bench has absolutely no pop.
None
No pop.
None at all. Except for Kevin Herter missing a shot.
Are you going to win? How many more games are you going to win? Yeah. I mean, there's no coach that was available that was turning this roster into a championship team. So are we arguing? What are we arguing about?
And what's the argument that the 4 minutes of Malik Monk starting changes the game? Because he still played 26 minutes a game, right? So you're saying that playing 30 is turning the Kings into what? A 3 seed? I don't know what necessarily the thought is. I mean, and it makes, like, you're acting as if bringing Malik Monk off the bench just makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
It just, you can't imagine why. It's not all about starters are your best players. It's about when Malik is coming in. It's, hey, here's 5 to 6 minutes of De'Aaron and Sabonis, or Sabonis, really it is Sabonis creating for himself and then dishing it out to others. And then that 6 minute mark comes, and just when you think, okay, maybe Sabonis is getting a little tired, That's when Malik Monk comes in. That's the logic of bringing Malik off the bench.
But I don't even want to sit here and get into these details because it really doesn't matter.
You're right.
At the end of the day, there isn't a perfect coach. No perfect coach exists.
Everybody complains
They
about
want
rotations.
the Warrior fans want Steve Kerr out of there every season. And they got 4 championships. There is no perfect coach. All right. But Mike Brown doesn't have to.
Out here.
Mike Brown doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. He's still what the Kings need right now.
Yep. Look at coaches' records too. I mean, Mike Brown is the most qualified guy that's out there right now. He's got like an over 600 win percentage. Really has thrived everywhere he's gone. He's coached all of the best players. He now adds bringing the Kings to prominence to his resume. The guy that you want, that if you were just looking at resumes, the guy that you would want to bring in is Mike Brown. I don't know what else to do with that.
Again, it honestly reminds me of that bar rescue with John Taffer in Sacramento. You look at your wall. It's a bunch of losers. Okay, and you finally get somebody in here to turn it around, and now
of losers on your wall.
And now you need to move forward with what? Continuing the conversation when we get back. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Welcome back to Verizon Radio. Our next track will get you amped for our biggest deals of the season. It's called Red Hot Deal Days.
Choose your bundle for Red Hot Deal Days. Get a new phone, watch and tablet. Scream yippee-yi-yay, because you can trade in your old phone for a bundle today.
Now that's a hot track for Red Hot Deal Days. Choose a new phone, smartwatch, and tablet along with tons more great deals. It's only until May 29th. Visit your Verizon store today. Eligible phone with select trade and an unlimited ultimate plan required and service plan required for watch or tablet. See Verizon.com for additional details.
Lowe's knows every project starts with the right tools and equipment. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, save $50 on a V20 string trimmer and leaf blower combo kit. Now only $99. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 5/29 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Getting back into this Mike Brown conversation, Gilbert Arenas says Rudy Gobert should give back his Defensive Player of the Year trophies. I don't need you to be a great help side defender. That trophy says Defensive Player of the Year, not help side defender. That means all inclusive. Beep. Beep. If they take you out the game, dog, you should give your trophies back.
So now you're telling me Kendrick Perkins and Gilbert Arenas are not on the side of Rudy Gobert winning Defensive Player of the Year.
That's right.
I think Rudy Gobert just absolutely cemented his standing as Defensive Player of the Year for me.
And don't even get me
no way I'm going to be on their side.
Well, and don't even get you started on Draymond. You know where Draymond stands on all of that. Right. This is from the 916. It's a negotiation. Why put it solely on management? What if Brown is asking for more than he deserves? Maybe he needs to come down a little. They've made the playoffs once, and he deserves credit, but hasn't gotten out of the first round. I'm good with $9 or $10 million a year.
Why does it matter?
But anything above that, you have to question.
Why does it matter? It doesn't go towards salary cap or anything. Like this is just out of Vivek's pocket. So, you know, again, this is the going rate for coaches. Mike Budenholzer is getting $10 million a year, right. $11 million a year.
And Dave came out
like 16.
Yeah, Dave came out and said that as far as he knew, the negotiations that were happening were between 10 and 11 million. So the question is, right? Is there somewhere where Mike Brown is asking for more than that? I don't know. That hasn't come out. But to your point from Woj, there's a gulf.
Yeah.
So what's the gulf? Is the gulf
9 to 11 maybe?
9 to 11? Is the gulf 10 to 13? I don't know. And look, it's a fair point from the 916. If you feel like he's asking for too much, I think Mike Brown's camp feels like they have leverage, and maybe
That's the key.
Maybe the Kings are saying you don't have as much leverage as you think.
And I think Mike Brown's saying you should check Twitter,
right?
Or check the internet, or check Stiles and Watkins because
the Cavs want him back.
Yeah.
Cavs want him back right now.
I just don't think the Kings also, I mean, there's a whole other element where, if I were to advise the Kings organization, I wouldn't factor into it, but the court of public opinion, like you said, coaches talk, players talk, fans talk. We see this stuff. And what does this say? This says, wow, this organization again is just hustling backwards. They get a successful coach and then, they're just going to let him go. They're not resigning, because I guarantee people who are in the middle of the country, or just people who are not paying attention to this story, the ins and outs, or haven't been paying attention to the Kings, are just like, wait, what? Wait, the Kings don't want to bring back their coach?
Yeah.
But they're winning now. And it's sometimes as simple as that. And I don't see how the Kings would want to welcome in more LOL Kangs into their life, because that's all that's coming.
Yeah.
Here. It's just going to be the Sabonis Halliburton trade all over again.
If he goes to the Cavs,
that's what's happening. Is people are going to say, look at you guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Ha, ha, ha. Oh, you brought in this guy. Look at this guy having success over here. It's just, you're signing yourself up for more years of ha, ha, ha. Look at you being stupid while everybody else thrives.
Don't let him go to the Cavs.
Please.
If he goes to the Cavs and then they make the playoffs and the Kings take another step back, even if...
Let him and Malik go to Orlando.
Oh, my goodness. It's just... I don't understand. And look, I would say, Chris, that during the season, you've always sang Mike Brown's praises. I have been fairly hard on Mike Brown in certain spots, right? Sometimes some of the blown leads and bad losses. Where is this coaching? And we did a blame pie all throughout the season, right? To me, though, it's not about specifically this season. This is about where you've been as a franchise.
Yep.
And you can move off of him, right? It's about the narratives and it's about the optics, and neither of those things are good right now.
Yep.
To me, you move forward because you're going to move forward with them either way. Vivek, I mean, we already know the A's aren't even going to be paying your rent, right? So money doesn't seem to be quite the issue. So why deal with this drama? Most of the time, you're already planning on paying these guys after you fire them anyway. That's just the way of the world. I think there's 100%. A coach. I think, what is it? Vogel getting paid by two teams right now, right? So that is what it is when you get into this business. So to penny pinch and to bring this upon yourself, specifically when you're trying to keep one of the biggest free agents. Malik ain't saying if there's any Mike Brown questions, and maybe they think he's already gone. But the bottom line to me is that this is not a championship roster. Yep. So
nobody's upset either. That's the thing. If there was any sort of whispers of, De'Aaron Fox a little unhappy with his role, or Domantas Sabonis really isn't a fan of his usage under Mike Brown. The only thing that anyone could even parcel through to try and plant on Brown when it comes to the team not being happy is, Malik Monk said, I would love to start. Obviously, I would love to start, but I'm willing to come off the bench because that's what's best for the team. So even then, and we know Malik and Mike have a great relationship. So unless there is real legitimate concern about the emotions of the locker room, I don't know what we're doing here.
Right. And maybe that's it. Maybe there's something we're missing.
Yeah.
Maybe something hasn't come out yet. Okay. I see on the Sac chat, somebody thinks that Malik is going to be gone because of Brown. That's from Roy Seeley, right?
I think Mike Brown leaving does infinitely more damage than him.
They have look, it's a very confusing relationship, but I'm pretty sure it's a good relationship. Sure. I don't, where is your captain? What does De'Aaron Fox think about all this? Maybe there's something we're missing. We're missing, but it has not come out yet. We're continuing the conversation. Also, there is a player in the Bay that may be available. You interested in him? We'll tell you who it is. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand.
That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com. The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Right, and maybe that's
probably
it's either
because they're
lowballing him or he's asking for too much. So I would say that, to your point, I think the golf, hopefully, because I think this could get figured out. Hopefully, first of all, it's a little overstated, but hopefully the golf is 9 and 11.
Yeah, hopefully.
That's what the hope is, and he's saying these guys
Right.
that are getting 11, I think I'm on the same level.
Right.
You're trying to pay me 9.
Right.
Come on. Because a golf isn't 10 to 11.
No, I wouldn't think so. I would think that would, because like people will say a lot in their reporting. To your point, like I think if Mike Brown was asking for 14 or 15 million, we probably would have heard like Mike Brown is seeking an incredibly lucrative contract that will make him one of the highest paid coaches in the NBA. That's maybe a different conversation that we can have. That's where maybe I would bring up the point of what the texter brought up earlier that, hey man, you can ask for a lot of money, but maybe in terms of the negotiations, maybe the Kings are a little bit more right in the number that they're viewing. But even then I would say you probably don't have leverage. It's these are very interesting that these negotiations have now turned public.
This is from Techopedia.
Okay.
And this is from March, so it doesn't have the Budenholzer contract.
Mm.
But right now, again, this is as of March, they have highest paid NBA coaches. You have Popovich at 16 million.
Right.
Spoelstra at 15 million. Monty Williams at 13 million. Steve Kerr at 9.5 million.
I think he just got a bump.
I think you're right. And then Rick,
because of Monty. Shout out Monty Williams.
yeah, and Rick Carlisle, who's at 7.5 million, who he will get a bump.
Yes.
You would assume because of this run that he just made.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that, again, it's kind of just the going rate at this point is that much for coaches. I think and Mike Brown would be right if he wants to lock down a 4-year contract. It's almost like NFL, right? We talk about the quarterbacks all the time. Just because Jared Goff is making the most of any quarterback right now, in 3 years, he's probably going to be number 8 on the list. And, even if Mike Brown is asking for 11 mil and there's only 5 or 6 coaches that make 11 mil, well, it seems like the more coaches that are going to continue to get hired and recycled are going to be making that as the standard. So I don't have if it is 11 mil and he's around the, if Monty Williams can make 13, then I really don't think there's any, that's almost like the Gobert trade of contracts where it's like, I don't really know if we can use that as the line for everything.
The Monty one, I mean, that's crazy.
That's insane. Doesn't make any sense. Didn't make sense when they did it. I don't know. I mean, I think 11 mil isn't crazy to ask. I think, again, he has done something that a lot of coaches have talked about doing, have tried to do, and never actually did. And he did it from day one. So I don't have any problem just giving him the money, even blindly. I would probably give him the extension and then just worry about the rest later. I think you're doing a lot more damage by having this kind of stuff out there. And then especially if it actually ends up going through with Mike Brown not staying here, I just think you're doing a lot of unnecessary damage.
Can you think of the last time, and these are Woj, these are big, big platforms posting this stuff. Can you think of the last time there was a situation like this with a coach who wanted to be extended and it got out and people that aren't connected to that team knew about it? Like Woj posting about Steve Kerr and whoever. I'm trying to think off the top of my head the last, like how typical this is.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think JB Bickerstaff might have just gone through something similar to this, and then we see that he ended up being fired.
Not a good sign.
Not a great sign either. And he made it to the second round. So I mean, that would probably be the last time I could think, but obviously again, things do not have to be this way. A lot of teams don't put themselves in this situation.
It doesn't happen often.
If you don't like a coach, you let him go. And if you do like him, you sign him up.
Right.
Not a lot of situations are undecided on their person. And I think maybe honestly, I'm just a little bit more confused as to why the Kings are just undecided. To me, I would definitely be leaning towards a certain direction pretty favorably, but to me, I'm just a little bit surprised at how centric the Kings are right now. It seems like they're a little bit closer to the middle of being undecided on Mike Brown versus where I would have thought they'd be more firmly on the let's bring this guy back no matter what.
Is there any blame if the assumption is that this got out because of Mike Brown's camp,
I would
right?
assume so.
Is there any blame on how Mike Brown has decided to handle this by letting this get out? What is this to prove that, hey, other teams want me, or you're going to see all the comments about how bad the Kings look for going through this? do you have, I don't know if blame is the right word, but Mike Brown's decision or the camp's decision to let this out, what do you make of that? Because now this stuff is it's awkward now.
Right. Yeah, no, it's a really good question. I think that it's Mike Brown's side essentially saying, yeah, I mean, okay, you think I would assume that their side is saying, oh, we just assumed this was going to be a slam dunk, no questions asked. If you want to take this, if you want to make this into a thing, we'll show you what people are going to say. Because I think at the end of the day, again, the Kings don't really have a lot of leverage in these negotiations. I feel like, they're just finding out now, okay, go ahead and let go of Mike Brown, see what happens, see how many people immediately turn from, oh, okay, the Kings are this fun up and rising team to, oh, here they go again, right back on the horse. They're back to their old ways. And if I'm a free agent, if I'm Malik Monk, if I'm the Kings pick 13th, I don't want my client going there because they're right back on where they've been forever. And even if they won't be as bad as it was before, doesn't seem like that team is aiming towards a conference finals run like I thought they were last season. So I think it's more just shining Mike Brown's agent or whoever is putting this out there is just putting a big mirror to the Kings and saying, hey, if you want everyone to look at your situation, people aren't going to say nice things.
Right. And again, if you're not going to pay me, let me go somewhere that I might be willing to.
He's wanted out there.
Yeah. You think the Cavs would give Mike Brown 11 mil?
The problem is, I mean, they have an opening this offseason. Mike Brown wouldn't be open this offseason.
Unless this thing goes bad. And, I mean, look, I'm saying.
I don't want to do that. No, I'm not saying you're wrong.
But now that we're in this situation, Mike Brown has his side has kind of put the Kings into a corner.
Yeah.
So you're either going to pay him or you're not going to go into this season with this awkwardness.
I would hope not.
So
as
crazy as it sounds, if you're the Kings, if you have a contingency plan, and a lot of people thought, well, the contingency plan just went to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But if you do have a plan, all right, man, you kind of did this to us, and we're not going to be bullied or whatever the case is. Get to stepping.
I just really hope it doesn't end up getting to that way. But it is funny, too, because like the Kings really can't claim ignorance in this situation in terms of like saying, oh, like we didn't expect the talk to be like this, because if I'm not mistaken, this is the entire reason why they signed Domantas Sabonis last offseason was to avoid this past entire year being a conversation of, well, is Domantas Sabonis going to – I guess maybe that's a little bit different because that's Sabonis' decision to stay versus the Kings' decision to let him stay. But they understand the concept of a lame duck year. They know what a lame duck year means and what it would mean because, again, they just made sure Sabonis didn't go into this exact situation. So you could definitely read some tea leaves and maybe come to a conclusion that they're perfectly fine with him going into a contract year, and they understand everything that comes with it because if they would solve it if they actually cared about it being a bad situation.
Dennis Youngblood just reminded us on the Sac Chat about the Lakers. And after all that, now I sound like Karl Anthony Towns. Was Greeny right this whole time?
No.
Mike Brown to the Lakers?
I hope
Greeny
not.
Right?
That'd be incredible.
He had the script.
That would be the heat check.
He's at the four-letter network.
Dude. That would be insane.
He had the script early. He's at the four-letter network. All right, coming up next.
Oh, my gosh.
Another do-it-all 4 or 3 that may be available. Do you want them? We'll tell you who it is when we return. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
We all have some things from the past that we might regret, or better yet, might like to get rid of. I'm talking about that mistake you made years ago that still may be haunting you. How great would it be if that could be expunged and gone? Poof! Just like that. But where do you go for something like that? Try the Gonzalez Law Offices. Jonathan Gonzalez is right here in downtown Sacramento, and he's here for you. Maybe you need someone for wrongful termination. Again, the Gonzalez Law Offices. Go to saclegaldefense.com or call them at 916-304-9187.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Family. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Paige Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT 5.3 liter in stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive all in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details and 6324.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
They're going to give it. No, it's a play action. Purdy going to roll left, throw for the end zone. Caught by George Kittle. He has the hat trick tonight, a career high. 3 touchdown catches for George. Touchdown, San Francisco.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories. Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Had to let that drop. Coming up at 12. No mock draft today, but Chris has a new favorite all of a sudden. Now that I said I like Cody Williams, now Chris says, actually, I like someone else. So we will tell you who that is at 12 o'clock. He actually DM'd me, Chris did, and he said, I got a new guy. So we will tell you who that is at 12. But before we get into that, we teased this at the beginning of the show, and Evan Sittery is saying the Warriors are expected to actively shop Andrew Wiggins in trade talks this offseason. Andrew Wiggins has $84.7 million remaining on his contract over the next 3 years. With the emergence of Jonathan Kuminga, Golden State will attempt to offload Wiggins for a better fit. And Chris, I wasn't kidding when I said this. The Warriors fans out there, what I've seen is they believe, not for them, because they still want to. That's always the funniest thing with fans and players. They still don't want Andrew Wiggins anymore, but they believe that Luka Doncic balling out is helping Andrew Wiggins' value.
Okay.
Because the basketball world will think back to Andrew Wiggins locking up Luka, who did not have Kyrie in 2022. He had Brunson, and Brunson played well, but did not have Kyrie, did not have really the team that he has now. But because of what Andrew Wiggins did in 2022, his value is going up, and the Warriors will be able to get back even more because everybody's going to remember Andrew Wiggins and what he did in 2022. Andrew Wiggins is making $26 million next season. Then it goes up to $28 million, and then he has a player option at the end of 2027, which he will probably opt into for $30 million. Andrew Wiggins, number one, when you're watching Luka, are you thinking about Andrew Wiggins, Chris? Let's start there.
No, but I am. I did Google just as simple as Wiggins Luka defense, And there's just countless. The Luka Doncic stopper. Why Andrew Wiggins' Warriors.
But this is from 2022.
That's from 2022. Yeah. This is from Sporting News. ESPN, Golden State, Andrew Wiggins hold Luka Doncic. The Warriors with Andrew Wiggins as primary defender held Luka Doncic in check Wednesday night. Again, in 2022, Andrew Wiggins reacts to defensive effort on Luka Doncic. The San Francisco Chronicle, how Andrew Wiggins Warriors defense smothered Luka Doncic. Apparently, this was a thing that I missed out on, and I
so
just
teams are going to. I guess Western Conference teams are
the Timberwolves. Timberwolves going to sign up for Andrew Wiggins again?
I guess.
I don't think so.
I guess. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Andrew Wiggins' value is moving on up.
Okay.
Because of what Luka is doing now.
Sure.
And again, they didn't have Kyrie in 2022.
Right.
Didn't have obviously Gafford.
They had
right?
Jalen Brunson.
They had Brunson. They did have Brunson. Okay.
And Tim Hardaway was still there.
Tim Hardaway is always there.
Yeah,
Tim Hardaway will always be there. So are you interested from the Kings' perspective in Andrew Wiggins?
I'll have to look at the contract first, but I will say I'm not interested in him, but it's more of like dare I call it an upgrade over Harrison Barnes? Like that's where I'm interested in Andrew Wiggins. Am I interested in giving up too much for Andrew Wiggins?
Yeah.
No.
But missing,
I'll do Harrison Barnes and Chris Duarte for Andrew Wiggins. And even then I'm like, why?
Based on this value.
But why?
But not based on this new value. You better give up. What is it? You need Keegan? Keegan for Wiggins? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
Played like the full season these last 2 years. He's opted out of like multiple weeks these past 2 years.
916. This was when we first teased it. I just was waiting until now to read it. Good morning. Hell nah on Wiggles.
The Wiggles.
And I don't know if that was your phone fixing it, but I prefer Wiggles.
I prefer Wiggles. I absolutely
hell nah on Wiggles. All right.
Yeah, no, got a little wiggle to him.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I mean, again, like if we're talking a slight upgrade, sure, he's younger, more athletic. I would call him a variant of Harrison Barnes. Absolutely, definitely has a tendency to disappear. I'm personally good, especially if the value is, as they're trying to imply, is now higher than what it was before. I'm so good off Andrew Wiggins, and no, I don't think anybody is really going to be rushing to sign him up. Like, so what? Do they want Denver to give Michael Porter Jr. for him or something?
No, but this is if we want to just a quick trip, we'll just do a quick trip to Warriors Delusion Land, and then we'll come back. This is a comment from the Evan Sittery post.
Okay.
Andrew Wiggins for Brandon Ingram straight up. Andrew Wiggins was a championship number 2 in the 2022 finals. He's exactly what Zion needs.
Oh, my gosh. Andrew Wiggins is going to live, just like I said, Mike Bibby's fed Sacramento for 20 years. I think Andrew Wiggins' 2022 finals is going to feed his kids.
I just think what's so hilarious is that coming off that championship, basically people felt like it was one of the best contracts.
Yes.
Like, this is the new Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah.
This is an outstanding contract. The problem was that Andrew Wiggins didn't ever show back up.
No. He was there for a solid 2 months and then said, "Oh, cool, I got the ring and I thought I'd change my
Well, that season, he was all-star that season.
He was great.
That was a great season.
It was great. Yeah, looked like the Andrew Wiggins he was supposed to be. And, like you said, we just never saw it. And I don't know how anyone's supposed to convince themselves that that's the real Andrew Wiggins that they'll be getting. I mean, yeah, if he was playing like that, I'm looking at his contract, $26 million next year, 28 after that, and then a player option, which, he just opted into right now for $30 million.
Right.
Like, that's fine if he's giving you what you're expecting. I shouldn't say expecting. What you would think Andrew Wiggins will get you. But yeah, I mean, it's just like Harrison Barnes. There's going to be a lot of nights where you're saying, man, Wiggs really had 7 points tonight. Like, what was up with that? He played great in that playoff series against the Kings, but I think that's too far between his good performances. Like, he just doesn't consistently play well, and it feels
got
like
benched at one point this
game
season.
to game, series to series, you just don't know what you're going to get from him.
Andrew Wiggins 2024 stats, he averaged 13.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, 1.7 assists on 45% shooting.
Those are like good rookie numbers. Like I think Keegan did that last year.
I'm not touching that.
I'm good. Like he's going to be 28 years old entering his prime, which is kind of crazy that he's only 28 years or he's 29. He's going to be 29. It's crazy. He's like in the thick of his prime right now. And we're talking about a guy who, we still don't really know what he is unless you just believe that this is who he is. He is a guy who is perennially underperforming. I'm good. If I'm the Kings, I'm so good off of not signing up for this. I think if you're going to look to upgrade at that HB spot, actually do it. Like don't dip your toe in and say, "Hey, slide." We felt like it was only a slight improvement, and you know, for what he cost, this is the better move versus going out and getting that. I would much rather have you just swing for the fences.
You know what this is, and none of the. And I know who was it on Friday, the Raider fan. I can't remember where they were from. I think it was the 209. But you know what this is to me? This is Raiders in a way. Maybe Raiders did a little bit better, but to me, this is Raiders Aiden O'Connell to Gardner Minshew. This is what it is. I mean, he's not going to be your franchise guy.
Right.
But is he probably better than what you have? Yeah.
Probably.
But just go get the guy.
Go upgrade.
Yeah.
Just go do it. If you're going to do it, do it.
Yeah.
There's no need to get Andrew Wiggins and then do the dance of like, okay, yeah, he has a good 2 weeks. Is this Andrew Wiggins? Is this a guy we can rely on? He's a theoretical two-way guy for sure, but it's just not there enough. I don't even know really what role he would fit on this Kings team. He is a shot maker. So, we were talking about earlier guys who can create their own shot. He is that, especially at the three, but inconsistent shooter, is in the locker room. I'm not sure what kind of guy he is because he does seem to be a little, I don't know, floaty, I guess is the word. Like he doesn't really from the outside looking in, I should say. I don't know the ins and outs of that Warriors locker room, but it hasn't really ever felt like he is ever, and granted Steph Curry, Draymond are in that locker room, but it never felt like he wanted to imprint himself on that Warriors team. And he's 29 years old. He was supposed to, again, after that finals run, he was kind of supposed to usher them. It'd be that transition point of Steph to Kuminga. Wiggins was supposed to be that middleman.
Right.
And I just don't feel like he ever really took any ownership. And as we talked so much this season about leadership, I don't know if bringing in another guy who's just okay with being okay is what this team really needs.
Yeah, that's
either.
a good point. It definitely is not the type of personality the Kings need. Another version of, and he was really close with Jordan Poole. That's who he was close with back in the day. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot that they had a lot of because I if I'm not mistaken me or correct me if I'm mistaken, but I remember hearing last year that there was a pretty big divide too between pretty much the older, especially after the punch happened, between the younger guys and the older guys, and Wiggins again was kind of that middleman, but even then still kind of sided with the younger guys.
Right, because he was still new to that team.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas the other guys have been around for so long. So, yeah, I mean, I think that Warrior fans are kind of tripping if they think that Wiggins, maybe it's going up a little bit, but I don't think it's changing what you're going to get back for Wiggins too much.
No, I mean, I can't imagine that you're getting. I mean, he honestly feels like somebody who you're getting more pieces for, because I can't imagine, I don't know who the straight up Wiggins trade is. I don't know what his value is. You bring up whoever brought up the Brandon Ingram swap.
I just don't see the Pelicans doing that.
No way.
Yeah.
I don't see. And I mean,
you
got to add more to that. I should say.
Right. If you're the Pelicans, do you do, sure, you take Brandon Ingram. Do you do Wiggins? Moody
picks for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I want future picks. I want all the Warrior future picks I can get past Steph Curry's being 38 or whatever.
Yeah. That might get it done.
It might. Yeah. I mean, it's not saying that. I mean, we're here in Sacramento talking about Harrison Barnes being the face of our trade package.
Right.
So it's not insane to say Andrew Wiggins face of another one, but they're tripping when it comes to if you think that Andrew Wiggins is going to decrease a first round pick or something. Like, we're at least under the mindset here in Sacramento that, HB and Kevin Huerter straight up, isn't getting you Mikal Bridges. It's not going to get you, Brandon Ingram. You're probably going to have to throw some picks in there. The delusion on the Warrior side comes if they think you're not going to have to attach other things with it.
Yeah, there's no Andrew Wiggins for Brandon Ingram. There's just no way.
That's tripping.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense for New Orleans, especially him on an expiring contract, but I believe that New Orleans can get more than just Andrew Wiggins as their piece.
That's the problem, right? We can get a better deal. Is it the crazy? I think it's a kind of a crazy deal, but it seems crazier because of what the market is right now. Coming up next, Chris tells us his new draft darling. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
And Logan Ryan picks him up. Looks like they're playing man. Laporte is over there as well. It's 5 out. It's empty on 4th down. Goff back. Not going to get out to his right. Being chased. Throws, and it is incomplete. The 49ers take over on 4th down again.
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
You see the TV commercials, everybody wants this car, the all-electric Kia EV9. Well, my friends at Elk Grove Kia have it on the lot today, and you can be driving it for only $499 a month. That's right, the 2024 North American Utility Vehicle of the Year. The all-electric Kia EV9 can be yours right now at Elk Grove Kia for only $499 a month. The summer sales event is going on right now at Elk Grove Kia and the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Everything, I would love to be driving a brand new car this summer, or maybe even just a car that's new to me. Well, guess what? Your credit won't be an issue out here at Elk Grove Kia. Everyone's approved. And Elk Grove Kia is committed to providing excellent customer service and getting you behind the wheel of a vehicle you're going to love. They go above and beyond the average dealerships. You're not going to find this kind of experience in Roseville or Vacaville or Sacramento or Davis. Only at Elk Grove Kia. That's why they have so many 5-star reviews. Come visit the showroom, see for yourself. Elk Grove Kia is in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Or check out what they got on the lot right now anytime online at elkgrovekia.com. One at this price, $3,500 down, plus taxes and fees.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
What is is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports. Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
About to get into Chris's new draft favorite. We'll see. From the 530, did you guys accept Carmichael Dave's extra morning hour offer?
No.
Barnes is old, Wiggins is in his prime and shows up to play. Yeah, well, look, if it's a Barnes for Wiggins straight up, I would do
those
that.
questions connected?
I don't think so. It's just all part of the same text.
Okay.
But let's start here.
Okay, sorry.
I would do Barnes for Wiggins straight up, sure.
Yeah,
But
the Kings would.
Yeah, the Kings would, but the Warriors would do that. Okay, more importantly, the people want to know if we first of all, that people don't understand, to peel back the curtain, when this stuff happens in crosstalk, we don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
Chris and I, obviously, we listen to the show as we're coming in, but we don't know what has been said or anything. So I'm downstairs with our market manager. I'm just walking by, and Dave is already talking to him. And then Dave pitches the idea of the 9 a.m. thing. This is the first thing I hear as I walk in the building, this 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. thing. And I think he's kidding. I don't know.
No, he better be kidding.
I don't know what's going on. So then Dave leaves
Can't do a
because
5-hour show.
Yeah, it was during a break. So Dave leaves. That was the last time I saw Dave until crosstalk, and then he brings it up to both of us.
Yeah.
Which is now my second time hearing about it. Never once. So once was with our boss's boss, and once was with the public.
Everybody.
The public.
So he's really trying to make this a thing. That's what we like to call public pressure.
Yeah, I mean 5 hours, Dave.
Excuse me, David. No.
Dave,
That's
5
why
hours?
I said, hey, you gonna start at 5 then? You doing 5 to 9?
Right.
Like if everybody doing, I mean, that's not even doing them an extra hour. It's just, if we're gonna be doing an extra hour, you're definitely not. If we're doing 5, you're definitely not doing 3.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Come on.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Thanks for the question.
We might do it. We might fill in for Dave, but no, we're not gonna do.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do Dave's last hour and Jason.
Yes,
Let's
and
be
we are really excited about that later in the summer.
Yeah.
We will let everybody know. Dave will be out, I think, a couple days or something like that. So we will be filling in, and we will be doing a couple morning shifts, much to Chris's chagrin.
That's right. I'm
It'll
just
be
not,
fun.
it's just early. It's just like, I know they get up at like, what? The show starts at 6. I think you're probably getting up like 4:15. Start prep. Oh man. Yeah. We'll get through it. We'll get
Dave
through it.
shows
We'll be
up
with it.
5:55.
That's right.
I've done that show a few dozen times.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
right.
Yeah. I've known people who, they'll show up the minute before the show starts, and then they will leave before the hour is even up. Because obviously, we end up getting out at like 56. Oh, by the top of the clock, they're on the freeway.
At this point, let's just do 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. when Dave is out. Let's just do 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. All right. We're about to get into Chris's pick, part of he was in the Pac-12. But before we reveal that, we have Mike on the line who wants to talk Tyrese Halliburton. What's up, Mike? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
Hey, guys, great show. If we would have kept Tyrese Halliburton
and traded De'Aaron Fox to Indiana, do you think we would have had the same results and Indiana would have had the same outcome as we are today?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Mike, and
Great question.
Thanks for listening. Well, I think the Pacers, and we talked a little bit about this last week. I think the Pacers probably are as good as they are now. I don't know if the Kings are as good simply because of the lack of scoring.
Yeah.
Right now you have Sabonis, who is a facilitator first, and now you have Tyrese Halliburton, who is a facilitator first. On this team, the way they shot this season, I don't think the Kings are any better. I would say you put De'Aaron on the Pacers, I think they do just as good. I truly believe that.
I would think so. I would think there's not really a reason to say, like, it's not like Tyrese, and I promise this is not me trying to bash Tyrese, but like there's nothing extraordinarily special about the performances Tyrese had that weren't something that De'Aaron, we've seen him be able to get to at least that level in the playoffs. And yeah, I mean, they would do it differently. Like Tyrese might have 22 and 10 where De'Aaron might just have 35 points or something like that. So it would be in different styles, but for all intents and purposes, yes, I think that they would have been in that series with the Knicks. Who knows if that series goes exactly to that form, but for all intents and purposes, yes, I think it would have been the same from the Pacers side. The Kings side, I think I agree mostly with you that it would just be a lot different. And I don't know if Tyrese would even be the Tyrese that we see today if he didn't end up getting traded. I mean, we heard all the hurt feelings that went into Tyrese moving over to the Pacers. I kind of think that fuels a lot of his aggressiveness and aggression. And even now, even in the playoffs, we still see that rising up. So if you put him in this Sacramento situation, I don't necessarily know if, I don't want to say he'd have that dog in him to really rise above it all, but I just wonder if he would have taken the initiative to say the same way he did in Indiana, oh, this is now my situation. Everything, I am now the head of the snake versus De'Aaron has been the head of the snake his entire time there. So
yeah, maybe
it's kind of a cop-out.
Right. Maybe he's more of a scorer if he stays on the Kings because of Sabonis. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I don't think the team is much better.
I don't know if Sabonis is as good.
Yeah, right. Because Sabonis might be forced to score more
maybe just play more pick and roll or something like that. They might not ask Sabonis to have the ball in his hands as much as he does.
Well, you said the magic words, and I promise we're going to get to I almost said the name. I almost said the name. I promise we are going to get to Chris's new draft favorite, but we said the magic words like Beetlejuice when you're in Sacramento, and that is Tyrese Halliburton. And John wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, John? You're on Stiles and Watkins. What you got?
Hey, everybody cracks me up because they're all acting like, they gave Indiana the option. Which one do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Indiana only wanted Halliburton. Let's say he's younger and he gets to be on a minimum contract longer.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we got rid of him. Maybe Indiana didn't want Fox.
Yeah, that's a great point, John. And that was something, and thanks for listening. That was something that Chris highlighted a couple months ago. Chris, and I'll let you tell it. Basically, your thought process was it's very possible the Kings went to the Pacers and said, Who do you want?
Yeah, I think it was a Monte Ellis situation where they said, you either have Monte or Steph, and you can either have Tyrese or De'Aaron, whichever one you want. We just want to get the deal done and get Sabonis over here. And, that as the caller called out there, like De'Aaron's on he had just signed his extension. So he was going to be making, I think, $35 million plus moving forward. And Tyrese was on year 2, I believe, of his rookie deal, which means you get the remainder of the rookie contract. And then you have to sign him to the whatever, I think now it's going to be $40+ million rookie extension after, but you get more years of team control. And, Tyrese is the younger guy. He can shoot. There was also at that time, remember, this is before the Kings had the beam team run and all that. There was a lot of questions of, okay, De'Aaron Fox has been your guys' star, hasn't done you great. Yeah. So I don't necessarily know if we want to sign up to that. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes tape can do you dirty. And I think it was more so of that Indy had the choice of Tyrese or De'Aaron. And, you could have asked 10 different franchises. Maybe you get 5 different answers, but Pacers decided to pick Tyrese. I would say for them, that was probably the right decision. I think it was as simple as that. I don't think the Kings necessarily shopped Tyrese over De'Aaron. I think it was, let's get this deal done. We love both of these guys. We think both of these guys are franchise pieces, but we just don't know if this is the best way to build this thing moving forward. So yeah, I don't really have a problem with it. And I don't necessarily think it is an either. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand why it is an either or conversation, but I think both guys would have done perfectly fine in their careers, no matter what ended up happening.
And now I was listening to Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross on the way in, and they said, does it sound crazy if the Pacers, they would never do it, but if the Pacers moved off of Halliburton to get another star because of how Andrew Nembhard and how TJ McConnell played.
This morning?
They brought that up this morning.
That's great. That is great.
They brought that up this morning.
Crazy.
And you can go listen to it during one of our breaks, SactownSports.com. But yeah, they brought that up.
I mean, I don't know if that'll be the route that they decide to go, but ultimately
they won't. They can't.
But it's interesting because, again, if Tyrese isn't going to willingly be your first or second scorer, I mean, Pascal was their number one scoring option in this series or in this postseason run. If Tyrese is never going to be that, if he's always going to say, like, if those two, Pascal and Tyrese, aren't enough to elevate them to a championship, they got to bring somebody else in there. Yeah. And then what? Tyrese is going to be the third fiddle. He's going to be like,
and Nembhard, don't sleep on. I mean, Nembhard probably gets moved. That will be the move because his value.
I think Nembhard, Neesmith, one of those guys.
Right. Don't forget
Miles Turner.
They probably want to keep Mathurin.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way that Nembhard played and the way that TJ McConnell played.
Oh man.
People were asking questions, but I
love TJ McConnell.
Yeah.
He is the ultimate pest.
Yes.
He's just like, I mean, he is what you want out of a backup.
So but hold on now.
Yeah.
All right.
What's up?
How do you love TJ? So what is it about Jose Alvarado?
It's the cheapness of the specific Grand Theft Alvarado. I like the hustle. It annoys me, but I think TJ is just like, TJ's solid. That's what I like about TJ is he's just like,
he does it with integrity.
Yeah, I guess so.
Alvarado.
Yeah, he's tough
He does it the right way.
Yeah, he's not out here flopping or nothing like that. Like TJ is a 6-foot guard who is unapologetically just grinding to try and make the most out of his NBA career. And he does it,
Alvarado,
but he does it without the cheap antics. And TJ put up 16 in a game. Like, I feel like I just think TJ's a little.
Jose balled against the Kings, but they all
hit some threes.
Yeah,
but,
they all balled against
TJ
the
can
Kings.
run an offense. Like TJ is 6 foot, but he doesn't really play like it.
All right. Coming up next,
5'9", and he plays like he's 5'9".
All right. Coming up next, that's enough of that. Coming up next, we reveal Chris's new draft favorite, and more of your calls, more of your texts, more of your sack chats. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win.
He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
All right. We're not messing around anymore. It's time for Chris's new favorite. He says goodbye to one Cody Williams. And hello to who, Chris?
Tejon. No, I'm kidding.
That's my guy.
I would never do that. Over the weekend, I told you I was going to start looking into draft prospects a little bit more, and a guy that really, really stuck out to me. The first time he really dropped on my radar actually was during Crosstalk. Whitey brought him up, and I didn't really think much of it, which is a mistake I will not make again. I've heard his name in the draft cycle a couple times. Didn't really think he was going to be a fit for the Kings, and then I looked in to one Tristan Da Silva out of Colorado, who's teammates with Cody Williams, and what I found was a guy that it just made too much sense. Alan, I can't believe that this guy has not been more on people's radar.
I'm watching the highlights now.
Now, Da Silva is first off, I think the most important thing when pointing out what makes Tristan Da Silva, to me, the obvious pick is we've talked a lot about what do you do with this pick? Do you take somebody who's got potential? Do you take somebody young? Do you take somebody who's more NBA ready? Do you just trade the pick? This is a guy who's a senior right now, just played his senior season at Colorado, all 4 years. You show steady development. And, this past season, 16 points per game. Last season, 15.9. He's just under 40% from three in both of these two seasons, with just under 5 threes a game last year. He's 6'9", like a legitimate 6'9". Now, we looked at Cody Williams's measurements the other day, the draft measurements. Tristan Da Silva without shoes is 6'8" and a quarter. With the downside is a 6'10" wingspan, where Cody Williams, I believe, had a 7'1" wingspan. So I don't really know about the defensive upside there, but this is really an offensive weapon that we're talking about here. Kevin O'Connor likes in his draft previews to do shades of. My shades of for him, he'll admit the Franz Wagner one. It's because both of them are originally from Germany, so there's kind of that influence of play there. And he plays a little bit straight up. He's not really a knock your socks off athlete, but he's big enough, especially at 6'9", is a fluid mover. Got some shades of Kyle Kuzma too, like a young Kyle Kuzma, just with his length and his scoring ability. And then the role that I honestly see him perfectly fitting in, you can see a lot of rookie season Keegan Murray in him, where it's just you could see him ready to catch and shoot.
Yeah.
Now, will it be
he's quick
40% from three on the amount of attempts Keegan took? I don't think so. But again, Keegan was also the 4th pick in the draft. I think we're talking about the difference of 4 versus 13 in a down draft. He can be a player. I just look at his tape and I see somebody who's a ready to go role player right now. And who knows? He's still 22, 23 years old. There's a lot to grow in. I like it. When you look at his strengths, versatile offensive scorer, smart player, makes good cuts, uses his size in mismatches, has some 3-level scoring potential with a step back midi off the dribble, capable of creating his own offense. He was the guy at Colorado, which you love to see, has a high usage, low turnover percentage, which usually shows good basketball IQ, as well as just kind of knowing how to have the ball in your hands and not make dumb, rash decisions. His weaknesses are not very athletic, not very long. With his lack of athleticism, limit his ability to create his offense. He does need to get stronger. That's the one thing that is really evident, especially him being a senior. He's pretty light in frame. Let me see what he weighed in at the combine. He was 216, which isn't great. Isaiah Collier is a point guard, measured in at 204. So you'd ideally like to see him add a bit more size as he stays in the league. But I think that there's a lot of things to like with Tristan Da Silva's offensive game. And to me, we talk about Harrison Barnes replacements. He's somebody who I could see being a Harrison Barnes replacement, especially on the offensive end. And who knows, in a couple of years, maybe he kind of rounds out his game and becomes something different. But I, over this weekend, have become a very, very, very big Tristan Da Silva fan. And I think this is my guy. I think this is the one that I'm going to take to draft night and say, this is just the most obvious one to take for the Sacramento Kings. And when you look at his pro comps too, a lot of people having Jaime Jaquez as one of his comps as well. That is exactly what the Kings are looking for.
Yeah, the Sac Chat and the text line is saying they'd rather take a swing on a younger player.
I'm curious why that is. I mean, not
younger?
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're younger.
No, I mean, I just think I think the ready now prospect is the way to go. I think again, if the Kings are looking to build in that Denver model, the Kings had no influx of youth this year. I mean, Keon Ellis, second season, sure, you can consider that. But I do think that there's something to having a young guy out there that just brings a bit of energy, brings a bit of an X factor, I guess. And I do think that he brings that. And I think that the hope with a young person is that you can develop them and you can teach them very specific skills moving forward. But I think the guy that Tristan da Silva is right now is an NBA role player. And I personally do think that there's still some meat on the bone there. I think that he can really become more skilled. I think he can be a pretty good ball handler, which would, in my opinion, really help his scoring ability. I like it, especially in a down draft where we don't really know what we're getting out of any of these guys. I'm okay taking what I think a lot of people are viewing as the most NBA ready guy right now. And to me, that's the exact kind of guy that the Kings should take and not let teams like, Orlando's of the world or the other teams that are kind of in the post lottery, but not in the late 20s. Right. Those are the kind of guys that this is the kind of guy that those teams absolutely love to take. And hopefully the Kings, you can maybe even trade back, but I think taking him at 13 wouldn't be crazy.
So he's playing with Cody Williams right now, or he was.
Yeah.
How good was Colorado? I'm looking here at the highlights.
They made the tournament.
They made the tournament.
I think they were at 8 or 9 seed in the tournament.
Yeah, I think they had to play in the first 4.
Yeah,
I saw some of the highlights. They had to go to the first 4.
Let me see. Colorado
Interesting.
NCAA tournament.
I mean, I like him for sure. He's crafty.
Yeah.
When you have to be when you're not as athletic.
Right.
Does the lack of athleticism worry you about defense?
Yeah, I mean, defense is definitely my biggest concern for him. But honestly, again, like all things considered, I don't necessarily know if you're going to be able to get a complete all-around guy. Like the questions with, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think I would much rather take a guy that I know has some sort of professional skill set and hope that nobody really plays defense anymore. It's all kind of team defense. I don't necessarily think he's going to be an answer in that front. And I've been the one who's clamoring for a guy like Jaden McDaniels, but I that's kind of how excited I am about his offensive potential is I kind of don't care because I just kind of think he's going to be a player.
From the 916, if you're going to draft an upperclassman, I can't understand how it's possible it's not Deron Holmes. He's a big with playmaking chops that you can trade back for. He looks better on film to me than da Silva. Deron Holmes from, shout out, Atlantic 10, Dayton Flyers. We will do our homework on Deron Holmes as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Also a fan of Ryan Dunn as well. Started doing some initial stuff on him.
Great stuff, Chris. Go and check out Tristan da Silva. He is smooth like butter, but will he be here in Sacramento? Depends on who you ask. Coming up next, ESPN.com gives 10 blockbuster trades and deals that need to happen. I have a hint for you. Orlando's getting someone, and it's not Malik Monk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of select Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Elevate your golf game at Timber Creek Golf Course in Roseville. Just named to the prestigious Golfer's Choice 2024 Top 25 Public Golf Courses in all of California by Golf Pass, Timber Creek offers an unparalleled experience. Our revamped practice facility features a grass driving range, expanded putting greens, and a chipping area complete with sand traps. Whether you're a pro or just starting your golf journey, Timber Creek is the place to be. Visit us and discover why we're the talk of Sacramento and beyond. Unwind and tee off at Timber Creek Golf Course. Sacramento. Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey, y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmerly. Take my hand, let me make you mine.
Hey, it's Dasha. Kelsey Hart and more. Saturday, September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends at American Energy. Now, I've told you this before, but this is what we call extending a good deal. Right now, American Energy Heat and Air is offering an HVAC diagnostic for $99. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Never mind. They're offering it free. It's a $99 value, but you get it for $0. Let the American Energy team test your system connections and all the moving parts of that system to ensure that it's functioning properly. Now, this is a limited time offer. Call today to schedule your appointment at 916-520-9990. Speak to the company that has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau that's been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
So now you have another people are getting on this bandwagon, Chris, as far as Luka and Kyrie being one of the best duos of all time, because this whole backcourt, front court with this positionless basketball can be very confusing. And we will get into the ESPN.com article with blockbuster trades that need to happen in a second. But now all of a sudden, Chris, you have a team that we saw firsthand how hot they were. And I believe the Mavs were hot coming into Sacramento because Luka had messed up his Achilles, I think.
Or something like that.
Yeah. And they won. I think it was overtime or something.
Phoenix, I think.
Then flew out and still balled out, beat the Kings twice. You lose Malik Monk during that stretch as well. And now you're looking around saying, are the Celtics really going to lose again?
I don't think so. I think I said earlier, I think Dallas has a good shot, but I think this is the Celtics year. Like, we can't forget that they still don't have Porzingis either.
Mhm.
Like they aren't even at full strength. And that's kind of the thing that makes them a little bit unstoppable, though. You could say, PJ Washington's a really good player to throw at a Kristaps Porzingis at the 4. I think the bigger problem is going to be the Celtics have something that Minnesota didn't have, and I don't think the Thunder had, and that's an answer for Luka. They can throw Tatum, probably throw Brown on him for a majority of the time, but I think in the most important situations, you're going to have 6'11" Jason Tatum, who's got a good frame on him as well. He's not a Jaden McDaniels who's going to get pushed around. I think he can battle with Luka, and I especially think Jaylen Brown can. So if you can not neutralize Luka, but not let him free and do whatever he wants, I think it's going to be a lot tougher for Dallas. So I would still have the Celtics as the favorite, but it's going to be a big test for them for sure. There's going to be a point where they're going to be on the ropes a little.
Let's say the Celtics win, right? And I guess we'd have to see, okay, does Jason Tatum, does it matter how the Celtics win? Because I think it's very possible when it comes to Jason Tatum and who he is in the face of the league conversation and his brand. If Jason Tatum, because this team is
didn't
so
win
good,
the Eastern Conference Player of the playoffs or
yeah,
whatever,
the
Larry Bird Trophy,
exactly. So he doesn't win that. That goes to Jaylen Brown.
That was interesting.
If he doesn't win Finals MVP and the Celtics win, let's say Jaylen Brown wins it.
Sure. Iguodala situation.
Does anything change? Does anybody look at, he got his ring. Mm-hmm. Does he have to win Finals MVP for the idea of Jason Tatum to change?
Ask my boy Stephen Curry. I think so.
I mean, Steph at least had MVPs.
Yeah, but he didn't have a Finals MVP. People docked him for not having a Finals MVP.
I think he's in an even worse situation, Jason Tatum.
Same, yeah.
Because that was more haterade type deal.
Oh, yeah. It tasted good.
Yeah. Jason Tatum is legit.
Yes.
I don't even know. Are you the best player on your team?
I think these are legitimate questions for sure, or most important. I think those are very legitimate questions, and you could argue it's a big legacy series for him. Again, didn't win that Larry Bird Trophy. It might not mean a lot, but it does mean that he could leave this entire postseason without any hardware at all. And that's not a good look for his brand at all. I mean, this is the season that's been lined up for the Celtics all year long, especially when you look at their record. They already weren't supposed to lose the first time to the Warriors. The Warriors were supposed to give them a good test, but that was not a championship Warriors team. And
won the first game in the Bay.
You had them on the ropes. And then everybody acted gangster until Jordan Poole starts hitting half-court shots.
Yeah.
I mean, that Celtics team in total has a lot of things to answer, but absolutely, like Jason Tatum, your team got you there. Not saying Tatum didn't have a piece in it, but his ability to have such not his ability, but the fact that he has such a great team around him led him to that moment. He's got to have some sort of stamping on this, and he averaged 30 and 10 in the conference finals. Not saying he did nothing, but he's got to be the one that takes his team over the top for people to start taking him seriously, because that's the thing is I don't people attribute a lot of the Celtics' success directly to Tatum. And a finals MVP, I think goes a long way. But we'll see. I mean, I do think not all things are created equal, and I could definitely see a situation where there's going to be some debate around, I don't know, Drew Holiday seemed to play really well. Jaylen Brown is the one who was defending Luka for a majority of this series. So again, should that be an Andre Iguodala situation where he might have not been the best player, but he was the guy who was guarding the best player, and that gets some appreciation in itself. I think dude's got to ball out. I think he's got to be better than Luka. I think he's got to be the best player on the floor in order for the narrative to actually change. Not for the Celtics to win, but just for the narrative to change. I think he has to be the best player for the entire. I would say he gets one bad game, maybe two. But he obviously, if he has 3 bad games, I don't think the Celtics can easily win that series.
And then you wonder about whether it'll be a stimulus package from the NBA. And let's say it is close between Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They give it to Tatum, so he gets the finals MVP. Right. It still might not change if people feel like, well, of course they were going to give it to Tatum.
Exactly.
But we all watched.
Right.
Right. And it could have easily been Jaylen Brown. So it's got to be pretty clear cut.
I think so.
And look, Jason Tatum's the same guy who said, I never said I was a superstar. He says a lot of stuff. That's so right. Who knows what he ultimately
Did you
was.
have any problem with the celebration? I don't know if you saw him. He threw when the game was over, finally he got the ball and threw it straight into the air. I saw a couple people. I shouldn't say I saw a couple people. I saw a tweet and then some responses to it saying granted, I think it was a Laker account as well that said, can't imagine celebrating this hard for the easiest conference final or the easiest finals road to the finals anyone's ever had.
I mean, it was an easy road.
It was, yeah.
It was. No,
it was.
Stacked your team and then anybody
didn't even have one of your essential pieces and still made it through.
You stacked your team. You didn't have to deal. The Sixers couldn't stay healthy.
Yep. Heat too.
Right? The Heat weren't
Jimmy didn't play
Jimmy didn't play. The Bucks, they weren't healthy. Right. The Knicks weren't healthy.
Even Sixers weren't healthy.
I mean, this is so cupcake.
Yeah.
I saw somebody say, by the time the Celtics get used to playing playoff basketball, it'll be 3-1 Mavericks. Because the Mavericks have been playing.
No, we saw that. I think we saw that in the first Cavs game. Or it might have. You can maybe even argue the first game of this Pacers series. Like the Pacers came out ready to go.
Yeah.
And Boston was like, oh, the playoffs started? Nobody told us. So, yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it where at least game one, Dallas takes it and, kind of punches the Celtics in the mouth. And we'll see, because I think mental toughness has also been a big question, not just for Tatum, but for that team in total. Like, okay, you got front runners. Are you guys really front runners? Or can you do things that title teams tend to do? I mean, the Nuggets, even though they went down 0-2, still made that series go 7. You guys go down 0-1. The series can't be over. You guys have to still be able to turn around and make that into a series if you guys are really about that life. And if they aren't, that's when things get interesting. I don't know what you do in Boston if that thing doesn't work out again, because realistically, you had a great regular season. You made it to the finals. I'm the one who always says, just get a chance. Only one team can win. You really can't penalize them for getting as close as you can and then losing. But at the same time, how many we talked about with the Warriors coaching situation earlier, you keep hitting your head on that same ceiling over and over and over. And they overhauled the roster. Brad Stevens is now a GM or president of basketball. Like, what do they do? I guess you just continue to run the race. But what gives if what aren't the Celtics doing if they can't win this title?
If the Celtics can't win this
how
title,
can they improve?
The Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum thing.
I think that's where it has to go.
There's nowhere else to go.
I don't know if it has to be this offseason.
You're not going to say, you got to upgrade Horford. I mean, sure.
Exactly.
But the rest of your roster is stacked
from head to toe.
Because if you lose, that means that their duo was better than your duo.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, the role players aren't better than your role players. So you're right.
And their dude was better than your dude. So now what do you do?
Yep.
So maybe you don't have a dude. Right?
Know. Yeah, no, but there's only so many of those dudes out there, and Tatum, if he's not that dude, he's as close as you could get to him without. It's almost. I mean, hopefully for the Celtics' mental state, they win, because if they lose, there's going to be all kinds of gymnastics trying to figure out who to blame and where it all goes. But Boston does that better than anybody.
Yeah, and look, we have the same conversation with De'Aaron Fox.
Sure.
We can have it with Jason Tatum. I mean, they got the same number of MVPs. So
drafted same year too. So they're same point in their development.
They don't get that done.
Not exactly.
Right. They don't get that done. And Jason Tatum doesn't look good. There will be, is he an elite number 2 conversation?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, is he like the next Paul George or something where it's like he's really good, but if he's your number 1, how far can he take you? And I mean, again, though, should that even matter when his team is that good around him?
But that's why you'd have to have the conversation.
Yeah. It's a mess.
Because any of the other number 1s that you would put in that category with that roster, they win.
They win.
Luka wins.
100% win.
Luka win. And any other number 1.
Yeah.
Right? True number 1.
Yep.
So what are we talking about?
Hopefully we're not talking about anything, because I just, again, like, I don't know where they would go. And so for their own sake, I hope they can figure it out. They've looked fine. I think that Pacer series was harder than it needed to be. Those games were a little bit closer than they probably should have, but I think they have definitely a good enough roster. It's just going to be a matter of if they can execute. And I also think they could really use Derek White playing a little bit, shooting a little bit better. I mean, there was earlier in this playoffs, he was he was lighting it up, and they really haven't had it's been Drew Holiday that stepped up big in that Pacer series. They just kind of need one of those other guys to act like a third star too. I mean, it's not 100% on Tatum, but if those other guys aren't showing up, if Derek White isn't hitting shots, if Drew Holiday isn't performing like how he did in the last series, that's when it's on Jason Tatum to say, all right, I guess I got to do this myself. And I don't know if he can do that. We'll see.
Coming up next, ESPN.com gives 10 blockbuster trades and deals that need to happen. We'll tell you what they have happening with some of the teams around the NBA. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, it wasn't exactly a headline when the A's acquired infielder Abraham Toro from the Brewers in the offseason. After all, Toro had just 18 at-bats in the big leagues a year ago. But as we near the end of May, his emergence has become a good story. Entering the week, Toro is number 8 in the American League in batting and also in the top 20 in hits and on-base percentage.
Want more speed? Well, Xfinity just increased their internet speeds, and they're faster than ever. It's time to get more out of your internet with faster speeds from Xfinity. Now through June 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for only $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract. That's double the speed for the same great price. Click, call, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment, taxes, and other charges extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
What is Subcontractors United? It's a list of 3 pre-qualified and licensed contractors in over 40 trades to help with your home project needs. From cabinets to heating and air to landscapers and everything in between, Subcontractors United makes finding qualified contractors free and easy with no accounts to set up. Visit subcontractorsunited.com today and experience the joy of stress-free home improvement. Save time and money at subcontractorsunited.com.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Bear Allen made an appearance. When was that?
Saturday? No,
Sunday. Went to the Sacramento County Fair. It was a great time. Had some food, had my deep fried Snickers. It was a smaller version of obviously the state fair, but it was a great time. There was a lot of animals out there. So toddler Stiles got to see all the animals. And
I accidentally rode past it. I was on a bike ride along the American River, and I just hear like blah, 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 and I'm like, oh, there's just a bunch of goats. And, because it backs up to the Cal Expo, and they're just like doing that stereotypical auction thing, you know?
Yeah,
going on,
a lot of auctions going on.
Yeah.
And we were just walking through, right? We were just walking through, and one of the goats was pretty loud, and then the goat got on its
kind of bucked up a
it
little.
Bucked up onto the fence, and toddler Sal started crying. We had to get the heck out of there. It's like like right to us, and it was the probably the funniest thing of the day, and I didn't get on video because we didn't know what was happening. It happened so fast, but it was a great time out there, some good food, and I will be back.
Yeah, no, we definitely
for the big one.
I was like, we got to get you out there for the big one, definitely, for sure.
Oh yeah. I have been before, and
Yeah.
I will definitely be back. Well, speaking of big, ESPN.com gives 10 big blockbuster trades and deals that need to happen this offseason. But there's one in particular that connects back to the Kings, Chris. What was it that piqued your interest?
Well, let's go through the 10 first, and then we'll tease the listening audience with what impacts the Kings later in the segment. So we'll start off right here. These are, again, 10 blockbuster trades that ESPN.com, this is, I think, behind the paywall, ESPN Plus, thinks needs to happen this offseason. And a lot of these, they use the term blockbuster. These are, I think a lot of these would classify as blockbusters. These are spicy additions. And they are most of them are signings. There are 3 to 4 trades involved here.
Okay.
We'll start off with the signings. First off, in this one, I did see there's some smoke behind this one. I saw a couple reports saying that this team is going to be interested in pursuing one LeBron James, and that is the Philadelphia 76ers signing LeBron James. Again, I saw some smoke behind this. LeBron is or can technically become a free agent if he so chooses. The problem with this is he would probably sign for not max money.
Didn't Rich Paul say LeBron is a free agent?
I think he did. Yes, he did. Yeah, he said it I think he said it on Friday. And yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I know the Philadelphia 76ers are going to try and get Paul George, but obviously if LeBron's available, I think that's going to be their first option. They have tons of cap space. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe literally Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are their only 2 players signed under contract. Everybody else can become a free agent. And so they have tons of money available. They could throw LeBron a big dollar amount if they want to. It would require James to opt out of his 1-year, $51 million contract. And then, sign with the Sixers. I don't know if I actually see that happening, but I think it is interesting if the Lakers have competitive offers for LeBron James. To make LeBron actually make a decision would be interesting.
Yeah,
no pun intended.
Let me leave one injured big to go play with another injured big. That makes sense. I don't think that makes any sense.
Not for LeBron.
Not for LeBron. Yeah. Sorry, Joel Embiid.
You hung out in Philly too. Like, is that really building his brand? Like how LeBron likes to build his brand? You know,
it could. I mean, it's Philly, but yeah,
it's not LA.
It's not LA. It's not LA.
It's not Miami.
It's just too many. Like I said, if you could trust Joel Embiid, then sure. But there's too many ifs in that situation for where LeBron is in his career.
Yeah, he'd probably rather stay in LA, chill with Bronny, chill with Bryce, whole fam, do the whole thing. Next one here. This is a name I've not seen connected to one Klay Thompson. Oklahoma City potentially signing Klay Thompson. I thought that was interesting just because, again, not a name that we've heard circulate with Klay Thompson, but you know, that's kind of a more so in the sense of a leader or a veteran who's been there, done that. That's a really, really intriguing signing for OKC. And again, I think OKC is in a spot where they could free up a ton of money if they need to.
Interesting.
So definitely thought that was interesting. Here's another one. Paul George going home, or I should say staying home, signing with the LA Lakers. Not sure how that one could happen with the Lakers cap situation, but I would assume that some of that would be essentially a sign and trade, but thought that was interesting that they could maybe see Paul George staying in LA, but crossing to the Lakers side. Of
Is this all happening in the same universe?
I believe so.
Of ESPN.com.
Well, I don't know.
So is LeBron
That's a great
gone
question.
now?
Right. Yeah. Is all of this intertwined?
And now it's Paul George.
It's a great question. Yes, actually, it's the first sentence. If the Lakers lose LeBron James, it wouldn't be surprising to see them move extremely quickly to hold things together. The clearest way would be maxing out Paul George. So there you go. I guess that's how that happens.
Yeah.
Lakers, this one we've definitely heard, and this is probably the most likely. Lakers trade for Trae Young. If the Lakers lose James again, a replacement with George, who's okay. So this is actually all happening in the same universe. It replaces him with George, who's settled into handling the ball less. The Lakers would be wise to find somebody who takes no issue with handling it more. Trae Young would be the obvious answer there, as he is a very open trade candidate in Atlanta. So that's, again, interesting. I will skip the next one because that's the one we're going to focus on. Chicago Bulls signing Chris Paul didn't really make a ton of sense to me.
I don't get that.
I don't know what they would do. I guess their point is more with Lonzo thinking he could return. Maybe Chris Paul's a nice bridge there. Clippers signed James Harden. That's obviously kind of, that's just not really much to talk about. The Clippers already have James Harden. San Antonio Spurs trade for Darius Garland. This is, again, something that's picking up a lot of steam here recently, especially with the Donovan Mitchell fiasco going back and forth. Washington Wizards trade. This is where the trades start. The Wizards trade for Jared Allen. Okay.
I don't.
Okay. And do what? Do what with Jared Allen? Don't know really what that's doing for them.
Get Jordan Poole out there with Donovan Mitchell.
No. There's not enough shots in the world. Memphis Grizzlies trade for Mitchell Robinson. I like it. I'm pretty sure they got rid of Steven Adams, so they don't really have much of an interior presence. I like it, but Mitchell Robinson's also somebody who's been in and out constantly, so I don't really know what his value would be, and that's not really moving the needle much. That's probably the least blockbustery trade of all of these. And that brings us now, Alan, to what I would like to discuss, the thing that I think impacts the Kings the most. And we couldn't go through an entire segment of offseason happenings without talking about what the Orlando Magic will do with their money. And interestingly enough, this is great for Kings fans. ESPN.com has in their 10 free agent trades and signings that need to happen this offseason, as the Orlando Magic signing guard D'Angelo Russell away from the Los Angeles Lakers. Here's what their write-up is. After Orlando's first-round elimination, Magic star Paolo Banchero was asked what elements the team needed to take the next steps. His response quickly was having a guy who can set the table and be reliable, he said. We have a lot of guys who can make shots and make plays. Me, Franz, and Jalen Suggs, that is. But I would rather be more of an offensive hub than the point guard, if that makes sense. Banchero has a chance to be the organization's first real superstar since Dwight Howard. Getting somebody who can organize that offense would keep him happy over time. Russell might not be the guy who checks all the boxes, but the Magic were last in the NBA last season with just 903 threes this season and are desperate for shooting. Russell, 27, is coming off a campaign in which he not only hit 226 threes, but also did so shooting 41.5%. And Russell is a good passer who averaged better than 6 assists per game while sporting a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Never heard a better fit in my life. Never heard a better fit in my life.
Gotta do it.
This is the offseason that the Magic have been dreaming for, is to sign D'Angelo Russell. So please, Orlando, allocate all your assets towards one D'Angelo Russell. Make sure that happens. He's the perfect fit. I couldn't think of a more perfect. I'm trying to think of a better fit for the Orlando Magic than D'Angelo Russell, and I just can't come up with one. So you need to get that done immediately.
I'm surprised
expeditiously.
I'm surprised in that write-up it didn't say with Malik Monk staying in Sacramento, even though he doesn't know who the coach is going to be. The Magic will be looking to replace him with someone else.
I do love that there's not a single mention of Malik Monk in here. It does make me a little happy there. But knowing ESPN, they probably just didn't even know. They're just not even checking the Kings or anything like that. So, I mean, if you're a Kings fan, obviously that would be fantastic. Not only Orlando getting D'Angelo Russell, but go ahead, Sixers. Sign all the stars you want. Paul George, go ahead, take LeBron. I don't care. As long as you're not taking Malik and OKC as well. I think that equals a really, really good, promising offseason for the Kings if they can keep their coach.
Yes, that is the main thing.
Yeah.
Rob Manfred gives an update on what improvements will be made at Sutter Health Park. We will highlight what those updates and improvements will be. Also, did you miss me at Hart Health Park on Saturday? Well, Nate randomly dug up some audio, and we're going to play it for you. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that is MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save many families up to $500 a month, and that is huge. But it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The member satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years. Members have shared more than $5 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now. You'll get a price within 2 minutes. So see what you can save. This is a very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. Call 844-43-BIBLE. That's 844-43-BIBLE. 844-43-BIBLE.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Seems like all this artificial intelligence stuff stirs up the age-old debate of man versus machine. Hi, it's Dan from the Good Feet store, and let me ask you, would you let a robot cut your hair? Would you rely on an app to teach a kid to ride a two-wheeler? Let's face it, some things require the human touch. People come to us seeking a solution to foot, leg, and back pain after trying all kinds of things recommended by in-store machines or website blurbs. An impersonal, generic approach to solving a problem that's unique to you. No wonder they usually don't work. At the Good Feet store, you'll meet with an arch support specialist who will take the time to learn about your needs, your feet, your lifestyle, and then fit you from over 300 models and sizes of arch supports, designed for pain relief, better balance, and more comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown. Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Going to get into this Rob Manfred update on the improvements at Sutter Health Park. Finally getting some notes on that. But first, Nate. So Nate did a great job on Saturday. Got a bunch of tape of me doing my MC thing at the Sac Republic match. And Nate just found this audio. I don't know where he got it from.
It wasn't my audio?
I don't know where you got it from. I mean, it wasn't my idea to play this.
Oh, yeah. No, this was my idea. I've been cooking this up since Saturday.
Yeah, Nate said, I can't wait to play this. He said, man, you can if you want.
The craziest thing, we're sitting almost like courtside. What is that? Pitch side? We're on the pitch.
Yes.
And I'm sitting next to you there, and I'm literally having to be your bodyguard, like swiping people away who are going, Alan, let me get a picture. Let me get a sign. Let me get this sign. And I'm going, hey, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
That's right.
He's in the zone. He's looking at his note cards. He's got to do a read for this beer or something.
I had 17 index cards.
You did. You had a lot. And it looked like you weren't even using them when it came down to it.
Right. Well, I had been rehearsing over and
prepping,
over again.
yeah.
But this one, actually, it technically was rehearsed, but this one was not written down. And this is the one to start the game. I don't know.
Really?
You tell me you found it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's about that time! It's game time! We need everybody up! We need everybody pumped up! We need that energy! We need you! Your team needs you! Your city needs you! We need to show everyone what we're all about! You gotta keep it going! 90 minutes! You know what it is! It's Saturday night! You feel it all right! We gotta get it going! We gotta keep it going! Everybody up right now! That's what it's all about! Let's go! Keep it going! Keep it going! Get that noise going! In 3, 2, 1!
Yes.
Yeah, so that
Wow.
Alan almost passed out, I think. I'm like right in his vein. Dude, his vein in his neck was bulging out like a mile. This guy was like low on oxygen. I was getting a little worried.
Yeah.
That's all off the dome.
That was all off the top.
And that's run number 1, right?
That was run number 1.
This is a new path here.
Yeah.
And this is what we like to call a natural. I told you, man. Like,
it was pretty legit.
His best one was when they make like a row of fans that the players run through in the beginning of the game, and Alan's in the middle of that row, and they're filming him. He's walking backwards, just commanding the crowd, and just like working him. And I went up in his ear, and I'm like, "That was Jordan Mike."
Yeah,
I just whispered that, and I stepped out.
That was
I just watched something happen.
I love your freestyle. I could tell the moment where it was like, okay, this is no longer when they told us to
still going.
Let's go! You got it! Come on!
You just start counting. You're like, 1, 2.
So then I think a commercial went long or something. So I actually had to do it, keep going after that. So man. I do that.
Yeah.
The kickoff doesn't start yet, and they say, you got to go. And I say, I just got a call from the Sac Republic. They said you're not loud enough. We're not starting this game until you get loud.
Let me get that one real quick.
That's
I think I have them all back.
Yeah, no.
Because
I have to hear that.
And this was my idea to play all this stuff today.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, that's like,
give me 1 second.
Yeah, that's like at the Kings games back when I was a kid. Like they, you know how they have like the noise meter. And at Arco they used to have like little, like, I don't know, pieces of confetti or something that would wave. And as a kid, you're like wholly convinced that like my noise made
it's
that
going
happen.
up. It's going up as we get louder.
Oh my God. I just got a call. They said, we're not loud enough. We can't start this game. They said the USL just called. No, seriously, guys, the USL just called and they said we can't start this game until you guys get loud. So
until you get louder.
Get loud. Threatening the crowd is always a great move.
Yeah.
Always a great move.
You know, and that's just how it had to happen.
It's probably great that it was soccer or football. You're calling it football now these days?
I do, yes. And I'm on the pitch.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's probably like great that because you don't get a lot of in-betweens, right? Like it's just pre-game, halftime, and then after the game.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, I can't think of a better opportunity for you to kind of get your feet wet on there. And
Sacramento just got a ball. The Sacramento says you gotta get louder. You gotta get louder. Everyone wants this match. So you gotta keep it going. They said it's not loud enough for you. They said they want to hear you all the way in NorCal, all the way in NorCal, all the way in Nevada. They want to hear you in Alabama. They want to hear you all over the place. You gotta keep it going. If you want this game to start, you better keep yelling. You better lose when you get back. It's a long weekend. Stop your feet. Raise your hand. It's a good team. Keep it rolling.
Have you ever seen the Chappelle skit where he does the
Oh yeah.
He's like, we're gonna go to Vermont.
I was just naming,
and we're gonna go to Virginia.
I was just naming places. I said they want to hear you in Nevada.
You said they want to hear you in SoCal. Then you said they want to hear you in NorCal.
Yeah.
We're all in NorCal.
Well, more north.
I'm pretty sure if they can hear you in SoCal, they probably
more north.
There's a sound barrier.
And then I said, "Who cares? It's a long." At one point, I said, "Who cares? It's a long weekend."
Yeah,
get loud.
That was awesome.
I mean, at least I feel like off the cuff, you said exactly things that are needed to be said.
They just need sound.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
That's exactly
sound.
what it is.
I could have said anything.
You could have sworn or something. You could have
yeah.
Just
say,
come on, let me hear
my baby's crying.
Yeah.
You pretty much didn't stumble at all. I didn't even know there. Well, like the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said there was one of them where you're like, "Oh, I stumbled there." I'm like, I don't know if I heard that. So I honestly, being genuine,
not in the pump ups.
No, not in the pump up. No.
Yeah.
There's 10 clips here.
10 clips
that I gave to you. There's 10 clips,
and they're all downloaded already.
Yeah,
well, I need to finish downloading.
They're all backed up here for you, but I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. I thought you did a very good job.
Wow.
There was even a point where you interviewed this guy who was with like a Sacramento mental health program.
It was the Sac County superintendent.
Yes, and you're interviewing
David
him.
Gordon, yes.
He was a vert for sure.
Yes.
He was a vert.
Give me a steps to Wolf.
He was like, oh, so like chatting about your job, thinking that's like your full-time gig or something. You're like, this is actually my first time. And he went, really? You're doing a good job.
Right.
And so I think people were down.
Yeah. Everybody was really nice.
You got some tweets about it.
Yeah. Shout out Scott Moak. Shout out Connor Sutton, everybody over there. So it was great stuff. Beeman on the Sac chat is saying that was a lot. Yes, it was. And I forgot
that's what the job is.
Yeah, I forgot to check my Apple Watch right after that. It probably would have said, you need to go to the emergency. Are you okay?
Not only is your heart rate through the roof, but the decibels, the noise level, doesn't it like tells you when you're in a loud environment, doesn't it? Yeah, Alan was really testing the limits of his Apple Watch on Saturday. Saturday.
Yeah, get out to a match.
100%.
It is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And you will have a good time out there. And I got swagged up. You saw the shirt.
I did. Yeah, that's the best part.
It's a nice shirt.
Yeah,
it's a nice
they have
shirt.
Great apparel.
They are the cream of the crop when it comes to that league.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to take advantage. What's up,
one.
Nate?
You want one more?
What is this one, Nate?
Just one more. I think this was halftime coming back.
Okay.
So here we go.
So I want to hear you scream on the count of 3, on the count of 2, on the count of 1, in 3, 2,
I want to hear you on the count of 2. That was good.
You did so well, and I'm not laughing because it was bad. I'm laughing because I know you. I love that you counted down from
to the counted down.
Because I know by the time you were at 2, you were like, "Am I gonna do this?"
No. I'm looking. I'm waiting for the
count of 2, and I'm like, "Am I gonna then count 3, 2?"
Yeah, and you did,
and I did.
You saved it. I mean, there's nothing you can do. Yeah, scream is funny. I kind of want to hear scream again.
Yeah, it's almost like a PA doing like 3.
Yeah.
2, 1, 3.
He holds it for so long, and he does like a little like nod into it. He's like, "Scream!"
I kind of feel like you're talking to your child when you're doing that. Oh my god!
Oh man!
I have to be there next time.
Yeah.
Big regret.
Yeah.
Oh,
he was looking for you for the whole first half
I
before
was.
the game. He's like, "Chris is gonna show up."
Oh, the
and I'm like,
chat
"No, he's
and the
not."
text line is cracking me out. The 831, the legend of Stiles continues.
Oh
to
man,
build.
it's just beginning. It's just
831. Brandon Deisman just keeps saying, "Scream,
scream,
I love scream.
Oh man.
Oh my god, that is fantastic. Well, first of many, man. Hopefully, that's awesome. I'm really happy that you got to
make people
you got to
scream,
go
man.
do that. I'm glad you got to go. Those are your first couple Sac Republic games.
That's
too,
right.
Yeah,
They will not be my. Well, we're definitely going for the Open Cup. What was that?
Absolutely.
In July?
Yeah, 100%.
It was popping. It was like busy.
Man.
It wasn't not a sellout, but definitely like all 3 sides were going up. And honestly, like, I mean, we're not partners. This isn't sponsorship or anything, but me and Alan were talking about when we were standing there. They have like these couches you can hang out at, and they give you like ice chests full of stuff, and just it was pretty cool.
It's pretty legit.
Even being on the sunny side.
Even the food part of it, they have a bunch of food trucks lined up.
Yeah.
So you can, and it's food / not fair food, but because it's right there, it's not just your normal chicken tenders or things like that. So definitely good vibes out there. And yeah, Chris can't stop laughing at the screen. Coming up next, we get into what Rob Manfred had to say about the improvements at Sutter Health Park. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards that zero-turn lawnmower you've always wanted. And after using its edge-shaping technology to meticulously sculpt the face of the Mona Lisa into your grass, you'll become the undisputed king of Saturday morning lawn care, leaving your neighbor and sworn enemy Gary to question his place in the delicate neighborhood ecosystem. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Rob Manfred gives. We were watching all the videos during the break. Chris is still laughing.
The video just brings it to another level.
Should we just post the video on YouTube?
Just post
or the
it.
Instagram? I
Yeah.
think the Instagram would be a good place for it.
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
Shout out to Alan doing his thing, I guess. I don't know. Come up with the caption.
Do you want it up there?
Maybe
It's
not
up to
the
you,
raw. We can maybe turn it into like.
You want me to remix it?
Clean it up a
Yeah,
bit.
maybe highlight videos.
Why? You don't like the screen?
It can be in there.
Yeah.
On the count of 3, on the count of 2, on the count of 1.
To the 2, to the 1.
Chris caught the frame too. You realize that you're saying the wrong thing.
No, I
No,
was seeing how much
Right.
more time we had.
How much behind the scene, like behind the camera stuff is like how much
it's just
input
one
is in your
person.
ear, like
Well, it's the camera person and then someone else helping.
Yeah, she
just like
was
giving
super
you
helpful to you.
cues and
Oh, she
things
was
like
great.
that. I assume.
Yes.
I thought she was great in letting you just like do your thing.
Yes.
You know, and I think that's how you need to let Alan operate.
Shout out.
Clear out.
Shout out
ISO,
Natalie.
ISO.
Mhm.
Natalie was great.
She
So
was.
shout out to her and Jonathan.
Natalie's
Timmerman.
fantastic. Yeah, she
Jonathan-
does King stuff too.
Jonathan was funny.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
stuff.
Cool
great
dudes
stuff.
there.
All right. Rob Manfred gives an update on what will be improved at Sutter Health Park. Chris, I've been waiting to hear this, and you have that breakdown from the Athletic.
Yeah, funny enough, this was I guess you can maybe classify this as buried in an Athletic article. It's first off, in order to find it, my friend actually sent it to me first on Friday. And I was like, where is that? I'm on the Athletic looking at the A's page. Nothing in there. The title of this article is Rob Manfred talks Nike's MLB uniform woes, pitcher injuries, more. There is a whole section in this article about Sacramento's plans to Sacramento plans ballpark improvements. And that's what we're going to read here. So kind of buried in this Athletic story, the A's plan to play at a AAA stadium from 2025 to 2028, if not 2029 as well, in Sacramento, the home of the Rivercats, Sutter Health Park, needs upgrades to host big leaguers. These are direct quotes from Rob Manfred, so he can now be held liable for these. Quote, they are actually constructing a separate building adjacent to the stadium that will be the home clubhouse, Manfred said. Quote, they're renovating the visiting clubhouse. There's going to be new artificial turf installed, which I definitely want to ask you about, Alan. And they are upgrading the camera capabilities so they get major league quality broadcasts out of Sacramento. There's some revenue associated renovations, some club seating and video boards that are being done in the stadium. Quote, so there's a lot going on there to get it up to snuff for their interim period. They've got great receptibility. I think they have seat deposits from like 13,000 people or something. Quote, they're doing okay. Manfred said he believes the A's would need to break ground next April in Vegas for the team to be able to have the stadium ready by 28 as planned. Quote, they still think they're on schedule to be able to play in 28, Manfred said. So, Alan, first things first, they are building a building, constructing a separate building adjacent to the stadium that will be the home clubhouse. We had heard that they were they had just renovated either the clubhouse or the family room, or it might have been both.
I thought it was it was something with the clubhouses, but apparently they're doing more.
And then, he says they're renovating the visiting clubhouse, so maybe that's what it is, Alan. But the thing, I actually directly texted you about this, I think on Friday. They're going to install new artificial turf.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'm not super, obviously AstroTurf was a huge thing way back then, and that's not this, but how many major league fields even are operating with artificial turf?
I don't know off the top of my head, I don't know if there are any.
And I would guess that the thought is because I think the plan is still both for the Rivercats and the A's to play at the stadium. So
here you go.
Maybe this is more so an upkeep thing, but it doesn't sound normal to me.
As of 2022, 5 major league stadiums had artificial turf fields. Arizona.
Is that a dome? I think so.
I think so.
Is Kyle back there? Kyle would probably know. I don't know.
Arlington, Texas,
That's
where the Rangers play.
That's retractable.
Miami, Tropicana
Dome,
and where the Blue Jays play in Canada.
I think all of those are either domes or retractable domes, which is interesting. I mean,
Right.
well, I guess at the very least, in terms of a playing, my concern was that just from a playing surface standpoint, I wasn't sure how many MLB teams even operated like that. So at least it's not completely
Right.
unheard of, but that's just it. Just I mean, I don't know. Maybe as I do more digging, it'll seem less strange to me. But just that in itself felt like a bit of a strange thing that I don't think many people were talking about going into it. That is going to have to change, and I would assume that you can get that done over the course of an off season. But I don't know. To me, that really stuck out, and then just the sheer amount of, I mean, he listed about 5 or 6 things that are being upgraded.
Right.
Those are not minor. None of those things are
But
minor.
I didn't even see any. I got a little bit confused at the end, and Nelly47 on the SAC chat is saying, yeah, all indoor those are all indoor stadiums.
Wow.
That turf is going to get hot. as
That was
heck
my thought.
in those triple digit weather games.
Burn cleats.
Yeah. And I've played on turf. There's some people that don't even use metal spikes on turf.
Yeah.
Because they don't think it's necessary.
Right.
So yeah, that's really interesting. But yeah,
And diving. I mean,
I was a little bit confused when he said they have seat deposits from 13,000 people. They're
Right.
doing okay. There was really no talk
10,000
about
seats. And then
right. There was no talk
lawn
about
seats.
adding additional seating. That was probably the most
Yeah.
the
I
most
also,
surprising part to me.
to my knowledge, I mean, I haven't heard ticket sales going live yet. So I could be wrong on that, but
Mhm.
I don't remember hearing anything about tickets for next season starting to come out or anything like that. Maybe he's talking about this season or something, but even then that's not necessarily true. So I'm not really sure what Manfred's exactly going for on that sense. Maybe that's something where he just kind of said and then hoping people don't really look into, because yeah, I mean, he says it after kind of saying they're being received greatly over there. I think they have seat deposits from like 13,000 people or something. They're doing okay. Yeah, I'm not really sure what. I mean, they got 13. What, you were at that Giants Rivercats game? That was probably 14,000.
Yeah.
But even that Snell game the other day probably had a couple. I don't think it reached 10. It might have, but I don't think it did.
How full did it look?
There were seats. There's definitely seats. So yeah, there was probably under. Well, I guess yeah, 10,000 seats. So
Right.
yeah, I mean there was under 10,000 people.
So apparently this came out not too long ago, May 14th. Fans who want to attend A's games at Sutter Health Park in West Sacramento can now place a deposit to
There we go.
secure priority
Okay.
purchase access or sign up to be notified when tickets go on sale. The $100 deposit will be put toward a 2025 season ticket plan, or it can be applied to alternative ticketing products. A's season ticket members will get first priority to seats. Other fans can get priority access to buy seats for games by joining the A's list and placing that $100 per seat deposit. 13,000.
There's no
This
way.
came out in
There's no way.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
and Manfred
it's
said that on the 23rd. So that was
I
Thursday.
guess it's possible.
Yes. I
We know how Major League Baseball is with those numbers when
Yes.
it comes to attendance.
Yeah, they lie. yes. Yeah. You mean the part where they don't tell the truth at all
Yeah.
and just hope nobody does the digging. And then when they do, they say, I never said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's just, it's interesting. And I don't, even then, like constructing a home clubhouse, they say what is adjacent to the stadium. Where?
I don't know.
Where? Like, is
I
it
mean,
literally across the street? Like, are they going to
they
have to
get rid of
cross a
parking?
physical street?
Some of the parking. is?
Because behind, I mean, Nate's pointed out a couple times, but like, they're pretty much backed up to the street at
Yeah.
this point. Like,
Yeah.
there's some room for, I don't know, maybe like a quarter of an expo building or something, but I can't imagine that. I mean, I don't know. They're going to have to get creative. And, I've still seen some people throwing out there that they're not 100% certain that any of this, anything that's laid out right now is even going to happen. I still think there's a lot of people out there who are going to say, I believe that they'll play in Sacramento when I see them playing in Sacramento. I even saw some reports of people bringing up what you had brought up all those months ago about the team. There's still a chance that they could fold until they pop back up in Vegas. So, all of those things that they're talking, video board upgrades, some seating, just getting clubhouses, and this is all going to be temporary.
Yeah,
these are permanent solutions for a temporary problem.
This article is, I don't know if I would say a bad sign, but if you are in the master plan group of, the A's are going to just finders keepers, just stay in Sacramento, this is not a great sign for you, because this stuff it's not stuff that you can then say, Vegas fell through. Well, we already have this. Right. This isn't going to be close to an actual Major League Baseball stadium. Not based on what, not based on what Rob Manfred's saying now. So,
can I pitch a quick idea?
Yeah.
What if they built I don't know how this would work with owning the land on the other side of the streets.
I think they own some of the parking lots, if that's what you're.
Okay, yeah, I'm thinking a bridge over the street,
right,
and have a clubhouse, like a high rise. I know it's kind of far from the diamond, or the field, but potentially I just don't know what would go into that. But I've been thinking about that, building some sort of bridge or arch over the streets and then using that structure to go up.
For more seating?
Yes, or more seating, or luxury seat. Anything really. I don't know, because you can the clubhouse be on a higher floor? It's got to be. I don't know the rules when it comes to that.
Yeah, it's just kind of. I think regardless, it's just not. It's not going to be an easy fix. Even what you're describing is going out of your way to make it work. And again, if this team is only going to be here for 3, maybe 4 years, that sounds like a long project to just kind of have them in a nice facility for 6 months.
And then obviously, if Sacramento does get a team or the A's stay here, whatever it is, they're going to build a whole new stadium.
That's why I said this whole finders keepers thing is kind of took a hit there.
Yeah.
Because why, unless Major League Baseball just feels, hey, Sacramento did us a solid. If we got to build from scratch, just throw your name in the hat with Salt Lake City, and Oakland's going to try to get something again. So I would have liked to see more about the sustainability of this thing as a Major League ballpark. This sounds more let's just get through these 3 to 4 years.
And even then, what do you do? I guess you just have those facilities, but I don't. I don't know. To me, again, it sounds like you're kind of looking at permanent or things that if you're going to build a whole building across the street just so it's up to standard when the A's come, well, what's going to happen to that building when the A's leave? Are you still going to use it? I imagine you could still use it for the River Cats, but is that necessary for a minor league team? And I think there's to your point, if the A's are going to stay here long term, they're going to have to build a new stadium anyway. So you're essentially just throwing money away for something that's going to have to get built somewhere else anyway.
Coming up next, friend of the show, Jeremy Fowler from ESPN, has a report on Brandon Ayuk. Now, this money, we talk about money with Mike Brown. Brandon Ayuk wants to get paid too. You letting him walk, you keeping him. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-934-9217. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary.
I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-934-9217 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, and other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217. 800-934-9217.
It's been said an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to a nice, cool summer, it's so true. Right now, get a complete air conditioner tune-up for just $59. Bonnie, plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696355.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
The countdown to Miss Twin Peaks 2024 is on. Head over to MissTwinPeaks2024.com to learn about the contest and cast your 5 votes for your favorite Twin Peaks girl.
Hagen Oaks Demo Days is in the home stretch, and this is your last chance to register for an individual fitting appointment with the manufacturer's fitting staff from Ping, TaylorMade, Mizuno, Callaway, Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio. You've waited many long months for the new golf season, and Hagen Oaks has your new golf gear right now. Book your individual Hagen Oaks Demo Days fitting appointment. Call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for your personal fitting. Hagen Oaks, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway or HagenOaks.com.
Sacramento, Dirk Bentley is coming to town.
Hey y'all, this is Dirk Bentley.
Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo for Country in the Park 2. And he's bringing some friends.
This is Farmerly.
Take my hand, let me make you mine. It's Dasha. Hit your boots, stop working to
Kelsey Hart, and more. Saturday, September 28th at Heart Health Park at Cal Expo. Get your tickets before they sell out at CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Chris, this one's for you. Tim Kawakami of The Athletic has said that there will be some documentary cameras around this upcoming season for the Warriors.
For what? The Last Dance?
It's too late. They should have done it in 2022.
Yeah, you missed all the good stuff.
Yeah, they should have done it in 2020. Unless they take a huge swing, this thing is not going to end.
Draymond took a big swing. Come on now.
Unless they knock it out the park.
Hey now, come on.
Knock someone out the park. This one's over.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I forgot about too until I saw it. Somebody post about it because Anthony Edwards is in the conference finals. We have this basketball Netflix show to look forward to.
That's right.
We've got Ant. We've got obviously Sabonis. We've got LeBron. Who else was it? I think KD, Booker. I think it was just Booker. I don't think it was KD. But like, I think Tatum actually might have been involved as well. So from the Netflix side of things, we could be looking at an all Netflix final here. Well, no, that's right, because that would take Minnesota winning. Well, yeah, we almost had an all Netflix final.
Yeah.
I'm excited for the Sabonis stuff, though.
And I think we'll get some answers into
Hopefully.
what is really going on.
Do you think they were there at Bottle Rock the other day?
Hopefully.
Probably.
Those were great videos, by the way.
I saw a couple of them.
Yeah.
Still doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
Still just
Well,
I saw
looked like Sabonis.
Right, yeah.
My buddy sent me a picture. I posted it on social media of Sabonis and Kevin Huerter just cooking.
Yeah. I saw Steph brought out Bradley Cooper.
Yeah.
It's like a wonderful time.
Yeah, just eating some food.
There's a lot of people. I saw Steph's Instagram story that he
Yeah.
posted of him when he walked on the stage. It looked like a music, like
I'm telling you.
like the amount of people that were just lined up.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that thing went 500 yards deep. Like, how I don't get it. I just don't
telling
like.
you.
What are you doing in the back of that crowd trying to look over the tall person? Are they filleting?
Yeah,
What's happening?
How's the
Is
sear?
that creme brulee?
Yeah. How's the sear?
I just
Well,
don't
speaking
get
of cooking, Chris, the Brooklyn Nets are doing the opposite of that. I saw this from a Brooklyn Nets centric Twitter. Brooklyn is funding both sides of the NBA finals. We're officially the NBA's farm system. Boston, Tatum and Brown were via picks from the Nets.
Yeah.
And Dallas obviously has Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, that's not ideal for sure. And those initial Brooklyn things, how they got Tatum and Brown is an all-timer. I mean, that was the I believe Mikhail Prokhorov era where they traded for Paul Pierce and KG and then just traded. This is a telltale sign of why you do not trade future picks like 2030, 2020. Like I said earlier, if I'm trading with the Warriors, give me all of those Steph Curry over 39-year picks.
Right.
Please, because that's the kind of situation you can get in where that team's not playing for nothing. They don't have their draft pick, so they're not improving year over year, and they don't have anything to play for. And then Brooklyn ended up giving Boston 2 top 5 picks, and Boston turned one into a number 1 pick, which we talked about the other day with Tatum. And I mean, the rest is history. And then that KD, Kyrie, Harden Brooklyn team is already forgotten.
The toe
already.
If it wasn't
forgotten.
for KD's foot.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy for Brooklyn, and they still somehow have some assets that people want, and
it's amazing.
Could hit on
luck,
something.
Jordy.
All right, our friend of the show who we spoke with in Vegas, and we hope to have him on again soon. Jeremy Fowler is reporting just before the NFL draft, Amon-Ra St. Brown signed a 4-year, $120 million extension with the Detroit Lions that included $77 million in guaranteed money. That apparently set the bar that Ayuk wants to reach. Brandon Ayuk. We'll go to Nate as well. So Brandon Ayuk wants something similar to 120, 77 million guaranteed. Should you give it to Brandon Ayuk or let him move on?
I think that's about right. I think if you're making what Amon-Ra is making, to me, I personally would rather have Amon-Ra, but it's kind of like that Mike Brown conversation we had where if that's the going rate for these guys, like I think you just kind of have to suck it up, and that's what you got to give him regardless of, maybe you'd ideally like to pay him $5 million or $10 million less. I think at the end of the day, if you're serious about, keeping this thing going, you've upset enough of these guys with the contract negotiations. Just square it away. I mean, the offseason mess that I guess you wouldn't consider it a mess, but just all the talk that we had to deal with already this offseason, just square it away and do right by him.
Well, I think the big thing is for Ayuk, when you talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Brandon Ayuk and you say the numbers, everybody will say usage, right?
Right.
But I would say that's fine, but that's still why the Lions feel like they have to pay Amon-Ra that. Are the Niners going to pay Brandon Ayuk that and not up his usage?
Use him like that?
Because that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me.
Right. You're paying for the caliber of guy that he could be if you were in a situation.
Exactly.
But that's not what it is. And I mean, that's the tough balance. But, you could argue that you almost have to pay him because you're acknowledging we think you're that caliber. And we have, because if you're going to pay him less, he's going to feel lesser. You want him to feel good, even though he's not getting those touches. We've already heard him complain about the touches. And didn't he, if I'm not wrong, he said this was about the touches as well, right? This wasn't really even about the money.
That's what Brad from SF Niners told us when he came on the show right after the Super Bowl, that he wants the rock.
Yeah, he wants the rock.
Now you have platforms saying the Niners are going to move away from being run first because Brock Purdy is that dude. So maybe that's part of it too. But you still got, okay, that's fine. Now, but you still have George Kittle. You still have Debo, right? You bring in Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah.
So, I don't see – I can see them paying him, but I don't see them using him enough to make it a good deal.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and if he does, then I would almost guarantee that Debo's probably gone after this season, right? Like, I don't think, to your point about Ricky Pearsall, and if you're going to be paying Ayuk that money, it does make a lot of sense to try and justify that money. A lot of people brought up, do you want to be paying two receivers a total of $50 million a year and then not be a pass-first offense? Seems kind of crazy. So something's going to have to give in that situation, and I think the Niners are probably going to have to sign Ayuk because he is a good bet, I would think, in terms of a long-term receiver.
And he's Brock's security blanket.
Exactly. Yep.
So, and that's probably the biggest thing he has going for him. But then do you sign him, and then you got to keep him happy by
he's got to keep it up too.
The rock. Coming up next, we are joined by the Drive Guys. A little bit of crosstalk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus, view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
My father was a career United States Air Force pilot, and Memorial Day is a reminder of all he and so many others did for our country. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now at the annual Memorial Day sale, everything in the store is on sale. Everything. You'll save 10 to 25% on all living rooms, to sofas, to sectionals, to dining rooms, to bedrooms, to home offices, and so much more. Everything is on sale right now at Naturewood Home Furnishings Memorial Day sale. Whether you're looking to lighten the mood in your living room, brighten up your bedroom, or tighten up your home office, it's all available for you at savings from 10 to 25% at Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality. Shop the area's best selection of quality furniture at Naturewood Home Furnishing, off Highway 50 in Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland, and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
So here's a fact. 85% of the population will suffer from foot pain in their lifetime. That's almost everyone. So you'd think there'd be plenty of healthy long-term remedies, but there just aren't, right? Hi, I'm Dan from the Good Feet store. You know, people come in all the time sharing the same frustrating story. Bought this, tried that, been there, done whatever, all different kinds of things, but all with a similar result. Nothing. A discouraging and endless cycle of disappointment. If this rings a bell, don't despair. There is hope. If you think you've tried everything, you probably haven't tried Good Feet arch supports from the Good Feet store. They're designed to relieve, even eliminate, the pain commonly caused by certain foot conditions like plantar fasciitis, bunions, flat feet, and others. Plus, provide better balance and increased comfort.
Do you have sore feet, an aching back, or plantar fasciitis? Then get to the Good Feet store nearest you for your free arch support fitting. Good Feet arch supports are only available at the Good Feet store.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Joined by one Whitey Gleason. Whitey, we have this from Sam Presti as the Thunder season is now over. Sam Presti owns up to missing on Gordon Hayward. And the quote, "I missed on that. That's on me." He said some other things. And Gordon Hayward came out during his exit interview and said, he really just didn't get an opportunity. How rare is it or does it feel rare when GMs just straight up own up to their mistakes?
It's dangerous, don't you think?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, wow, he must be comfortable.
And you've built a couple contenders already, and you've got all these draft picks stockpiled. You can afford to go, yeah, I missed on that one. Because he knows that his record otherwise is pretty unassailable.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's in a way it is a flex because he's like, yeah, I can admit defeat here, and what are you gonna do? Like, you're gonna fire me over this?
Oh, I got one wrong.
Yeah. I got rid of Micic. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It's like, okay. Whitey was wasn't there Sasha
Davis Bertans too?
Yeah. Bertans can't even. I mean, he hasn't been able to play. I think I saw, that, he's. I'm sorry, I'm thinking Maxi Kleba. Sorry, but yes, he messed that one up too.
Pokuševski didn't work out.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what happens when you nail 3 Hall of Famers and then, get Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over there for pretty much nothing, and you draft both Jalen Smiths, and you get Chet Holmgren, and Lou Dort is just a random find, and the list goes on and on. You get the better of the 2 Wiggins, not that their Wiggins is actually related to Andrew, but
Chris, how is it? Here we are talking again about the Kings and the coach and what's going to happen. How are we having that conversation again? I know you guys have talked about it. Everyone's talking about it. How is that happening again? How?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Whitey, I don't understand this at all. Okay, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about it later, and definitely what Drapes has to say about it. But Whitey, I just Alan honestly said it best. Where is the entitlement from this Kings franchise to say that I think there's a better option out there? Like, again, I've said it all today, but to not have the success that they've had over the past 20 years, and then for Mike Brown to walk in the door and have legitimately 2 of the most successful seasons that we have had since we got here in Sacramento, and for there to even be questioned, I just don't get it.
Makes you dizzy, huh? Makes you dizzy. And we can see Alan during the season. I remember after that one Pelicans game where they lost, when they got destroyed on that Sunday.
Which time?
The one on the Sunday. That's a good question. When they got rebounded 55-22 or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
And remember, Coach Brown was saying, if we think that we can go out and win with offense, we're in for a rude awakening. And he said, what was the exact wording was something like, and there's some among us who think that. Like, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then even after the win over the Warriors in the play-in, and you might have been sitting by me, and I know you were busy doing your thing, but Mike Brown's talking about how great they were in the defense, and the defense great. And he looks down at us, he goes, now you guys, we practice offense too, right?
Right.
It's like, ooh,
yeah,
that's something's going on here.
Right. I mean, we've had people chime in and say maybe Mike Brown wants too much money, and we discussed whether or not it was, assuming this was Mike Brown's camp kind of coming out about the gulf that is between the amounts of money and the contract talks. I guess the question now is, could this be less about what they've done and more about philosophy, right? I said, I don't know if Mike Brown, what he wanted, if he actually wanted Sasha Vezenkov and the players that he tends to like, if Vivek has a philosophy that, hey, we're going to do this offense first type deal, but you hired a defensive guy, but you're not bringing in guys that will help your defensive minded coach. That might be a situation where I know what you guys did the Beam team and everything like that, but they're just not seeing eye to eye on what this team should be.
It's discouraging for it to get to the point where you have the announcement that talks have broken off.
It's bad.
Yeah.
I
When do
went
things
there.
pick up?
I went there. Chris didn't want to go there, and obviously it's early. We're going to continue to have this conversation.
You went there?
If they
I
get backed up,
emotionally didn't want to go
if they get backed up into a corner right now, Mike Brown, and it's out now. Is there any part that Vivek, and the King side says, well, we're not going to be we're not going to be blackmailed. We're not going to be backed into a corner. Bye.
Let's hope not. It's all part of negotiation.
I really hope not.
Everything that's happened at this point has been in bounds.
But normally we don't hear about this.
I know.
Yeah.
From other teams, we don't know about this. It's not good.
Kangs. That's what this is, man. And that's what's so unfortunate is we thought that we had shed this kind of stuff in our past. And,
it's not like it's a crucial off season or anything.
No,
Malik Monk.
We've got it all situated.
He's gone already. I saw you tweet that. A lot of people have tweeted that, and I understand that. But to me, this has nothing to do with that. He's gone. I really think.
I don't like to hear that.
You keep saying Orlando.
Probably Orlando, but we had Evan Siddery on last week.
On Friday,
he said,
yeah.
and again, he's better connected than I am, but I don't know exactly what his sources are. But he was saying he could get offered. He said, I'm hearing he could get offered like as much as 25 a year. So I think he's going to have options, and I think he's almost certainly gone.
That's Detroit.
Charlotte, possibly, too.
Yeah. So
situation.
I hope you're right, but I don't. Like I said, you're not the only person saying that. A lot of smart people are saying that in addition to yourself. But I just don't see how this has anything to do with that. I think Malik looks and goes, oh, okay. Oh, where's my money? Where are my piles of money? Where's the biggest piles of money? That's where I'm going.
Do you think, from what you've seen with we saw the clip of Mike Brown kind of going at Malik, and really it's just a unique relationship. Do you think, does it feel like to you that they have a good relationship? It's just unique.
Yeah, I think so. I'm buying that. Are you guys?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's just, I think everybody wants everything to be all love all the time. And that's just not the reality, especially not in sports. Like, there's a natural, not adversarial relationship, but the coach is always going to want more of the player. The player is always going to want something out of the coach. And, I think Malik is a very, very unique individual, especially when it comes to his personality. And I think I just think they like to kind of stick each other. I think that they like to throw jabs, and I think that they have a little bit looser of they use loose language is what I would say.
Yeah.
I think that they're very free with the language they use with each other.
I think we've all seen and been around coaches and players who you knew they
yes, exactly.
This doesn't seem like
it's not Dwight Howard and Van Gundy, right? Your guy Stan Van. Where they was like, it's awkward in the locker room. People are asking him specifically, how's your relationship? And he's like, it's great. Dwight comes around. Yeah. Hey, what are you guys talking about in here, huh?
Or say George Karl and DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah. That was bad from day one.
George Karl is always getting into it on Twitter with people.
Laker fans.
He's an agitator.
Yeah.
He really likes to poke the bear, that one. George Karl. Nice guy.
Whitey, before we get out of here, did you get to hear me?
I just saw Scott Moak said you crushed it. That's all I know.
One more time, Nate.
Darrington Fox.
Okay.
That's me, Whitey.
What are you saying?
What do you think he's saying?
He'll eat the table.
Okay.
Like his Eagles will.
All right.
It sounds like you're saying shwee.
Sweet.
Loves Wayne's World.
It's like Cristiano Ronaldo does the sweet.
Yeah.
He does the C. That's almost exactly
I'm saying
what it's
scream.
Oh, okay. I don't think they got your M on there.
Well, because it was so loud from me pumping
exactly.
people up.
That's right. You just
That's
couldn't
great.
hear the fans overruling Allen's voice.
Okay, there
you go. You just had to wait for it.
How many E's are in that?
Yeah.
You think?
A lot of A's. Whitey, real quick as well. I think we have enough time. 22 years ago, the Mike Bibby shot happened, game 5.
Wow.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were? I don't remember specifically where I was. Alan remembered where he was. Where were you?
I was at the opposite end of the court, but
Really?
we didn't actually have seats. So standing room,
Yeah.
watching that from the opposite end of the court. Yeah.
where does that fall in terms of environments, like, or moment, maybe just even personal sports moments that you've witnessed with your own eyes?
Anytime those two teams played in those significant games,
Right.
those are always, for me,
Yeah.
at the top.
Yeah,
Other
it's
than
almost
like,
its own tier.
Candlestick for a World Series or something, or a playoff
Sure.
game, because it was so packed in there. But yeah, there's nothing like the old wooden Arco. That wood conducts sound pretty good.
It would.
That
That's
place
what
had a
they
lot
tell
of
us.
wood in it.
Yeah, absolutely. People
It's not a
forget-
euphemism, Alan.
It's kind of sounded like it. People forget. And I was telling Alan too. People forget about the Bobby Jackson stop at the end of that. There's the Bibby shot, but then Bobby Jackson locking down Kobe immediately after, completely forgotten about from that game. Obviously, I think I was 7 when that game happened, but I was, it's fed Sacramento for about 20 plus years.
I was 57 when it happened.
You didn't have to out yourself.
No, it's fine.
I'm not doing that math.
He was not 57. He was definitely not 57.
That's it for us. Thank you for listening to Stiles and Watkins. You have the Drive Guys coming up next with Whitey Gleason and Kyle Draper. Until tomorrow, secure the bag.
It's
light the beam.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add